Elias woke up early that morning. The sound of the wind hitting the windows of the house, with a subtle howl, seemed familiar, but something inside him made him feel different. The old man looked to the side and saw Anna, as always, lying in her wheelchair next to the bed. Her eyes fixed on the ceiling, expressionless, as had been the case for the past 33 years. He sighed, got up and began his routine of caring for his granddaughter. Anna, paralyzed since the accident that took her parents' lives, was all that was left for Elias. He had dedicated his life to her, giving up his own happiness. Every day was the same, but that morning, Elias noticed something different. As he was feeding Anna with a spoon, he noticed a slight movement in her finger. He stood paralyzed for a moment, his eyes fixed on his granddaughter's hand. "I must be imagining it," he thought. He continued his routine, but that feeling that something was changing did not leave him. Later that afternoon, Luciana, the physical therapist, arrived to do Anna's daily exercises. Elias, who always watched her work attentively, hesitated to comment on what he had seen. However, curiosity and hope were stronger. "Luciana, have you noticed anything different about Anna?" Elias asked, trying to hide his anxiety. Luciana looked at him and smiled slightly, as she did every time Elias mentioned something about his granddaughter's recovery. "Elias, I know how much you want to believe that there is an improvement, but unfortunately, Anna's condition remains stable." Elias frowned, uncomfortable. "This morning, I swear I saw her fingers moving. It was very subtle, but I saw it." Luciana looked at him with some compassion, thinking that perhaps age and fatigue were affecting the old man's judgment. However, so as not to hurt him, she simply nodded. "Let's keep watching, Elias. I'll run more tests during physical therapy." She knew she didn't want to raise false hopes, but something in Elias's gaze made her stay alert. As Luciana worked with Anna, moving her paralyzed limbs, Elias stood by, observing every little detail. His heart beat faster with each movement of Luciana's hands, but nothing seemed different. Frustration began to take over his mind. He wondered if he was going crazy, if hope was starting to play tricks on him. Hours later, Miguel, Anna's younger brother, arrived at Elias' house. It was a rare visit, since Miguel always avoided spending too much time in the house where everything had changed forever. The weight of guilt consumed him for not being there anymore, but he believed that running away from the pain was the only way to deal with it. "How are things here, Grandpa?" Miguel asked, taking off his coat and sitting at the kitchen table, where Elias was preparing coffee. Elias looked at him, his head full of thoughts and his voice choked with anxiety. "Something's changing, Miguel. I swear I saw Anna move her fingers this morning." Miguel raised his eyebrows and let out a bitter laugh. "You always say that, Grandpa. It's been so long. Maybe it's time to accept that it's never going to change." Elias slammed the cup on the table hard, startling Miguel. "I'm not crazy. I know what I saw." Miguel sighed, rubbing his face with his hands. He knew that arguing with his grandfather about this was pointless. But even though he doubted Elias' sanity, he couldn't ignore the pain and hope that consumed him. He knew that Elias needed to believe in something to keep living. The next day, Dr. Mariana made her routine visit. She had always been a respected figure in the community and had been taking care of Anna since the accident. But lately, Elias had noticed a certain distance in the doctor. Perhaps she was just tired, but Elias was beginning to doubt the attention she was giving to his granddaughter's case. "Dr. Mariana, I saw Anna moving her fingers yesterday. Something is changing, I can feel it," Elias said as the doctor performed the tests. She sighed, adjusting her glasses on her face and looking at Elias with an air of exhaustion. "Elias, we've discussed this before. Anna's condition hasn't changed in decades. I understand your desire to see her improve, but we need to be realistic." Elias clenched his hands into fists, frustrated by the doctor's condescension. He wanted to believe he wasn't crazy, but everyone around him seemed to think otherwise. Meanwhile, Cecilia, Elias' neighbor and friend, came into the house to bring some groceries. She heard part of the conversation and became thoughtful. Elias had already told her about the movement he had seen, but Cecilia didn't know what to think. Although she believed that miracles were possible, something about the situation seemed to be destabilizing. "Elias, I know it seems impossible, but we should never doubt God's will. If you believe that Anna is getting better, I believe in you," said Cecilia, holding the old man's hand. The days went by and, despite the doubts and skepticism around him, Elias could not ignore what he felt. His suspicions grew, and he knew he needed to find out the truth. Deep down, something told him that the answer to Anna's mystery was hidden somewhere, and he was determined to find it. As more people came and went from their home, tensions grew. Talk began to circulate around town, speculating about what had really happened to Anna, and whether the diagnosis from 33 years ago was, in fact, correct. Some people, like Cecilia, began to doubt the doctors, while others, like Miguel, stood firm in their convictions. Dr. Mariana, increasingly pressured by Elias, began to question her own medical judgment. And so, a web of intrigue and suspicion began to form. What really happened to Anna on that fateful night of the accident? What was Dr. Mariana hiding? And, most importantly, was Elias really seeing an improvement, or was his mind being eaten away by exhaustion and despair? As the days passed, Elias's determination to find out the truth only grew stronger. He began to notice more small signs. Not only were Anna's fingers moving, but there was also a slight movement of her eyes that seemed to follow him around the room. Even though everyone around him remained skeptical, he knew something was going on. Anna was no longer completely paralyzed. He was sure of that. That afternoon, when Luciana arrived for physical therapy, Elias called her to talk before they began the exercises. He was determined to confront her more firmly. "Luciana, please, I need you to listen to me this time. I know it's hard to believe, but I see the changes in Anna. You need to pay attention." Luciana looked at Elias with a mixture of concern and weariness. She knew he was under a lot of emotional pressure, but she also knew he believed what he said. "I know how much you love Anna, and I want her to get better too. I'll pay more attention today, I promise. But please try not to get your hopes up." During the physical therapy session, Luciana began to focus more on the small details that she had previously ignored. After so many years of care, she knew every involuntary movement of Anna's body, but that afternoon, something made her stop for a second. She was moving Anna's arms for the exercise when she felt a slight resistance, as if her arm was trying to react. She stopped for a moment and observed. "I must be tired," she thought, but that stayed in her head. After the session ended, Luciana left quietly but visibly disturbed. Elias noticed, but decided not to press her. He knew that Luciana was the first to begin to doubt her own conviction, and this filled him with a pent-up hope. That night, while Elijah was preparing dinner, Miguel showed up unexpectedly again. He seemed more restless than usual, with a worried expression on his face. He sat down at the table and looked at his grandfather. "Grandpa, there's something I need to tell you," Miguel said hesitantly. "I've been thinking about everything you said about Anna, and I went to talk to a friend of mine who's a doctor. He told me that there are cases in which paralysis diagnoses can be wrong, especially if something was overlooked in the beginning." Elias stopped what he was doing and looked at Miguel with wide eyes. "What do you mean, neglected? What are you saying, Miguel?" Miguel took a deep breath and continued. "This friend of mine, he said that sometimes the trauma can be more psychological than physical. What if Anna isn't completely paralyzed? What if something in her treatment was done wrong in the past? That would explain what you're seeing, the small movements." Elias was silent for a few seconds, processing what Miguel was saying. The idea seemed absurd, but at the same time, it made sense. He had always had the feeling that something was wrong with Anna's diagnosis. "And what can we do?" Elias asked, now full of determination. "We need to consult another doctor, someone from outside, who can look at her case with fresh eyes," Miguel replied. The following week, after much insistence, Elias managed to get a new specialist to come to his house. Dr. Eduardo, a respected neurologist known for his innovative approach, was willing to re-evaluate Anna's case. Dr. Mariana, who had always been responsible for Anna's follow-up, did not like the idea at all, but Elias was determined. When Dr. Eduardo arrived, he was greeted with some nervousness. The tension between him and Dr. Mariana was palpable, but he maintained a professional demeanor. "I will need a few hours to review all of Anna's medical records and exams, as well as perform some more specific tests," said the doctor, as he prepared to examine Anna. While Dr. Eduardo was doing his work, Luciana's older brother, Lucio, who was a nurse and also helped Anna occasionally, showed up at the house. He had always been skeptical about Elias's hopes, but the arrival of the new doctor piqued his curiosity. "I don't believe he'll be able to discover something that hasn't been seen in 33 years, Lucio said to Luciana as they watched the exam from afar. "Maybe that's what we all needed, someone who would look at her case without being so emotionally involved," Luciana replied, still with doubt in her voice. Dr. Eduardo spent hours reviewing Anna's old exams, comparing them with the tests he himself had performed. He retired to the living room with a serious expression and called Elias and Miguel to talk. "There's something here that concerns me, Elias," the doctor said, pausing for a moment to find the right words. "Some of Anna's tests are incomplete or were not performed with the technology we have today. From what I've seen, there are signs that her condition may not be completely irreversible." Elias felt the ground disappear beneath his feet. "What does that mean? She can get better?" Dr. Eduardo continued cautiously. "I can't promise anything yet, but there's a chance that Anna has developed some kind of neuromuscular response in recent years, and that it's never been properly diagnosed. We need to do more tests, maybe even exploratory surgery." As Elias processed the doctor's words, Rosa, Lucio's wife, who was also in the house, joined the conversation. She had always maintained a neutral stance, but now she couldn't help but get involved. "I always thought there was something wrong with the diagnosis. But no one ever listened to me," she said, crossing her arms. Dr. Eduardo's revelation began to cause a kind of division between those who believed that something wrong had happened in the past and those who remained skeptical. Dr. Mariana, who had heard part of the conversation, entered the room visibly upset. "We can't be hasty. We're dealing with a life. That kind of hope can do more harm than good," she said, with a tone of authority. But the seed of doubt had already been planted. Elias was now determined to move forward, even if it meant confronting the doctor who had been treating Anna for more than 3 decades. As the days passed, more people began to get involved. Rodrigo, an old colleague of Elias, came to visit and was intrigued by the stories that were circulating around the small town. Helena, a young medical student who was interning at Dr. Mariana's clinic, also began doing her own investigations into Anna's records. She discovered inconsistencies that could be crucial to solving the mystery. "It doesn't make sense," Helena told Rodrigo in a private conversation. "The older reports are incomplete, and there are records of tests that were never performed." Helena continued to search through Anna's files at the clinic, finding more and more strange details. She knew something was being hidden, and her intuition told her that Dr. Mariana might not be as trustworthy as everyone believed. But what to do with this information? Confronting her directly could be dangerous, and Helena was still only at the beginning of her career. However, her uneasiness grew. Meanwhile, Elias, full of renewed hope, insisted on undergoing more tests and consultations with Dr. Eduardo. The relationship between him and Dr. Mariana became increasingly strained, especially when the doctor began to openly advise against any further intervention in Anna's case. "Elias, with all due respect, we have already done everything possible. We cannot play with everyone's emotions with false hopes," she said at a meeting at Elias' house. But Elijah was no longer willing to be dissuaded. He knew something was being kept from him, and he felt he was closer than ever to discovering the truth. That night, after a long meeting, he confided in Cecilia, his neighbor and trusted friend. "Cecilia, I know that Dr. Mariana has been hiding something. I can't ignore this any longer. Anna is really alive. I feel like she's trying to come back, and I won't rest until I find out what's going on." Cecilia, a religious and always calm woman, just nodded. "Elias, if you feel this deep down in your soul, then you must move on. But be careful. People can hide terrible secrets when their reputations are at stake." Cecilia's words echoed in Elias' mind, and the next day, he decided to act. In the dead of night, he decided to secretly seek out Helena. He knew that the young doctor was involved in the tests, and that she might know more than she was letting on. "Helena, I need to talk to you. I know there's something going on with Anna's exams, and I think you know that too," Elias said when Helena came to his house, surprised by the discreet invitation. Helena looked around nervously, not wanting to be seen there. But the pressure of keeping the secret inside was too much. She could no longer bear to see Elias, such a dedicated man, being left in the dark. "Elias, you're right. There's something wrong with the records. I can't say much, but Anna's first exams were poorly conducted. There's evidence that the paralysis diagnosis was rushed, and some tests were never performed as they should have been. I don't know why, but Dr. Mariana was involved in this from the beginning. I found inconsistencies in the old medical records. I think she's hiding something about Anna's real condition," Helena revealed in a whisper. Elias, stunned, looked at Helena with teary eyes. "What you're saying is that Anna could have been treated differently from the beginning?" Helena nodded, fighting back tears of guilt. "I'm sorry. I can't prove anything yet, but I need more time to investigate. I just ask that you be careful, Elias. This is much bigger than it seems." At that moment, Miguel walked in through the kitchen door. He heard part of the conversation and couldn't believe what was happening. "Are you saying that my sister could have been treated all this time? That her paralysis might not be permanent?" Miguel was furious, anger and sadness brimming in his voice. Helena stepped back, startled by Miguel's intensity, but she knew he had the right to know. "Yes, but as I said, there is no concrete evidence yet. I just suspect that the initial diagnosis was wrong, and that Dr. Mariana may be hiding something." From that moment on, Miguel and Elias were determined to move forward. Miguel was the first to suggest that a second opinion be done in secret, without Dr. Mariana's knowledge. In the meantime, Dr. Eduardo would continue to monitor the exams with new tests. The next day, Daniela, a former colleague of Miguel's who was now a lawyer specializing in medical malpractice cases, was called in to help. She knew that dealing with a possible medical error that had been going on for 33 years would be extremely delicate, but she was willing to investigate thoroughly. When she heard the full story, she had no doubt that something sinister was going on. If Dr. Mariana really neglected the case, this could be a huge scandal. "We need to gather all the evidence very carefully before taking any legal action," Daniela said, as she reviewed the documents that Helena had managed to gather. And so, a secret investigation network began to form. Leandro, Dr. Eduardo's assistant, was also included in the group, as he had direct access to some hospital files and could check for falsifications or omissions in old medical reports. Elias' allies increasingly joined forces in search of the truth. Lara, an investigative journalist who had already made major allegations in the city, was also called in to investigate Dr. Mariana's past. Lara discovered that, years ago, the doctor had been accused of negligence in another case, but the case was mysteriously shelved. Dr. Mariana has a dark past. "Anna's case may not be the first," said Lara, bringing more tension to the group. Meanwhile, Dr. Mariana was beginning to feel the pressure. She could tell that Elias and the others were pulling away from her, looking elsewhere for answers. She knew she couldn't keep her secret much longer. Elias, now more determined than ever, was about to find out what happened to Anna on the night of the accident. But the truth he was about to uncover was darker than anyone could have imagined. Fourth, "You said, continue," ChatGPT said. ChatGPT. Lara's discovery of Dr. Mariana's past came as a shock to the group. Elias, who had trusted the doctor blindly for so long, began to realize that Anna's case could be just the tip of an iceberg of secrets buried for decades. Now, with Daniela leading a legal investigation and Lara digging into Mariana's past, Elias and Miguel were ready to move forward. But Dr. Mariana, aware that the noose was closing in, acted quickly. She knew that the only way to protect herself was to publicly discredit Elias. Using her influence in the town and at the local hospital, she began to spread rumors that Elias was emotionally unstable, desperate for a solution for Anna, and therefore seeing things that were not there. She began to blame Elias's advanced age, insinuating that he was losing his discernment. He was always very devoted to his granddaughter, but now he is obsessed with an absurd idea that she might be getting better. Dr. Mariana commented discreetly to Claudio, the hospital director and longtime friend, trying to undermine Elias' credibility. At the same time, Dr. Mariana was pressuring Luciana and Lucio, who still had doubts, to withdraw from the investigation. She knew that if she could isolate Elias from his closest supporters, it would be easier to control the situation. But Luciana, who was initially hesitant, was already beginning to lean towards Elias' side after seeing the small changes in Anna. Lucio, on the other hand, remained skeptical, believing that Elias was being manipulated by false hopes. "I don't know, Luciana. Do you really think that makes sense? 33 years and now, out of nowhere, things are changing?" said Lucio, suspicious. "I don't know, Lucius, but what I saw can't be a coincidence. Her arm really did react to my touch, and Helena noticed it too," Luciana replied, uncertain but open to the possibility. Meanwhile, at Elias's house, the atmosphere was tense, but filled with a strange energy of hope. Vera, a family friend who had always been by Elias's side, decided to spend more time helping to care for Anna. She was caring, but also a keen observer. One day, while caring for Anna, she noticed that the young woman's expression had changed. There was a slight change in her eyes, a slower, more controlled blink. Vera immediately called Elias. "Elias, come here, quickly," she said, breathless with emotion. Elias ran to the room and, when he looked at Anna, he noticed the same thing. It was subtle, but there was a sparkle in his granddaughter's eyes, something he hadn't seen since the accident. Miguel, who was in the kitchen, also ran when he heard the commotion. "She's trying to communicate, I'm sure," Elias said, excited. Over time, Elias and Miguel began to notice more signs that Anna was somehow conscious. And that's when Elias made a risky decision: to have Anna undergo an MRI under Dr. Eduardo's supervision, without Dr. Mariana's knowledge. Miguel offered to take Anna to the hospital in the dead of night, with the help of Raul, a nurse friend who worked the night shift and could facilitate the procedure without raising suspicion. That night, the tension was palpable. Elias, Luciana, Miguel and Raul took Anna to the hospital in silence, praying that their suspicions would be confirmed. Dr. Eduardo was already waiting for them, and everything was prepared to be done discreetly. "This may be our only chance to find out the truth before Dr. Mariana intervenes," Miguel said, helping transfer Anna to the MRI machine. When the exams were over, Dr. Eduardo, with a serious expression, called Elias and Miguel to talk in private. "There's something important I've discovered," Dr. Eduardo said, pausing to choose his words carefully. "I can't say she's fully conscious, but the scans show brain activity in areas that shouldn't be active in a completely paralyzed person." Elias felt the air leave his lungs. "What does that mean?" he asked nervously. "It means that, somehow, Anna is reacting to stimuli. She may be in a state of minimal consciousness, and that explains the small movements you have observed. If this is confirmed with further tests, there is a chance, albeit small, that we can reverse part of the paralysis," concluded the doctor, looking fixedly at Elias. Miguel, who had been listening to everything in silence, finally spoke. "So, for all these years, my sister was somehow aware of everything?" Dr. Eduardo nodded slowly. "Yes, it is possible. And if we are lucky, she might be trying to communicate." The revelation shook Elijah deeply. For years, he had talked to Hannah, told her stories, cried with her, never knowing that she might be listening. The thought of Hannah trapped inside her own body, unable to move or speak but conscious, was devastating. But it was also a hope he never imagined he had. While everyone processed this new information, Miguel took the lead. "We need to bring this to light and hold Dr. Mariana accountable. If she knew about this and hid it for all these years, we can't let it continue." Daniela, upon being informed of the discoveries, began to prepare a lawsuit against Dr. Mariana and the hospital. At the same time, Lara was ready to expose the story in the newspapers, causing a real scandal. But before they could act, Dr. Mariana made her final move. She summoned Elias and Miguel to an emergency meeting at the hospital, without telling them what it was about. Reluctant but curious, they decided to attend. When they arrived, they found Dr. Mariana there, along with Jorge, the hospital lawyer, and Valeria, a social worker. The atmosphere in the room was tense, and Dr. Mariana began to speak. "I know what you are doing, and you are making a grave mistake," she said, her voice controlled but with a clear tone of threat. "Anna has been in my care for over 30 years. Everything I have done has been for the best interest of her and her family. If you continue with these baseless accusations, I will have no choice but to take legal action against you for defamation and negligence." Elias and Miguel remained silent for a few seconds, digesting Dr. Mariana's threat. The atmosphere in the room was heavy, charged with tension and distrust. Dr. Mariana, sitting rigidly, knew she had to maintain control. Jorge, the hospital lawyer, looked at Elias as if waiting for him to make the next move. Valeria, the social worker, was there as a witness, but her gaze betrayed a certain uneasiness, as if she knew something was wrong but could not interfere. Miguel, visibly irritated, was the first to speak, his voice cutting through the silence. "Legal action? You're threatening us with lawsuits after everything we found out? My sister could have been conscious this whole time, and you knew." His voice grew in intensity, and Elias had to hold his son's arm to keep him from completely exploding. Dr. Mariana remained impassive, but there was a cold glint in her eyes. "Miguel, I understand your desperation, but you are being driven by a dangerous emotion. There is no conclusive proof that Ana is conscious. All procedures performed over the years have been within the strictest medical standards. I suggest you be careful with the claims you are making. If you go through with this, I can assure you that the impact will be devastating to your family's reputation," Mariana said, her voice calm but full of veiled threat. Elias, calmer, looked deeply at Mariana. He had always trusted her, had placed his granddaughter's life in her hands. Now that trust was crumbling. "Dr. Mariana, why did you never tell us that there was a possibility that Ana was conscious? If you really believed there was no chance, why hide information about the first diagnoses?" he asked, trying to maintain his composure, but the pain was clear in his voice. Mariana looked directly at Elias, keeping her control firm. "Elias, you have trusted me for many years. Ana has been my patient since the beginning. If there was any omission, it was because I believed I was doing what was best for her health. And in the beginning, there was no clear indication that her condition was reversible. Even with the new tests, the chances of recovery are minimal, and you may be putting her health at risk by seeking experimental treatments," she said, trying to regain ground. Valeria, who had remained quiet until then, decided to intervene, her voice low but assertive. "Dr. Mariana, as a social worker, I am here to ensure that Anna's well-being is prioritized, and I see that this situation has become too complicated. I think we should consider external mediation to discuss the best care options from now on, without emotional involvement or conflicting interests," suggested Valeria, realizing that the situation was on the verge of collapse. Elijah shook his head, feeling exhausted. The truth seemed further and further away, and he was tired of fighting something that seemed bigger than him. Michael, however, was not willing to back down. "We won't give up. We're going to keep going, no matter what you say, Mariana. We're going to take Anna's tests to outside specialists, someone who isn't under your influence. If you knew something and hid it, it will come to light," Miguel said, full of determination. The conversation ended without any resolution. Elias and Miguel left the hospital shaken, but determined to move forward. When they returned home, Vera was taking care of Ana. She noticed the tiredness on Elias' face and approached him with a worried look. "How was the meeting?" she asked, as she carefully adjusted Anna's blankets. "They threatened us, Vera. Dr. Mariana is trying to stop us from finding out the truth, but we won't give up," he replied, his voice full of sadness, but also firmness. Miguel, always the more impulsive one, was already in contact with Daniela to expedite the process of filing a lawsuit against Dr. Mariana and the hospital. Daniela, in turn, was determined to build a solid case. She spent sleepless nights analyzing medical documents, old reports, and testimonies from other health professionals
At the same time,
who had worked with
Laura,
Mariana. The journalist began to dig deeper into Dr. Mariana's past. Her discoveries led her to Andre, a retired doctor who had worked with Mariana in the early years of her career. Andre had left medicine for reasons that were unclear, but Laura knew he might have valuable information. She managed to arrange a meeting with him at a coffee shop far from the city center. When she arrived, she saw an elderly man, with a tired but still shrewd look, sitting in the corner of the establishment. After the usual introductions, Laura got straight to the point. "Dr. Andre, I know that you have worked with Dr. Mariana on sensitive cases. I am investigating some serious allegations of medical malpractice. Do you have any information about irregular practices at the time she worked under your supervision?" Laura asked, trying to be careful but direct. Andre sighed heavily, as if carrying the weight of years of secrets. "Mariana has always been a competent professional, but very ambitious. When she was young, she didn't hesitate to do whatever it took to advance in her career, even if it meant making morally questionable decisions. There was a case before Ana of a patient who was also in a vegetative state. Mariana pushed for the case to be closed quickly without in-depth investigations, because that could tarnish her reputation," he revealed, looking directly into Lara's eyes. These words were enough to confirm what Lara already suspected. Dr. Mariana had not only withheld information in Anna's case, but she also had a history of covering up other medical errors. Lara wasted no time and immediately contacted Elias and Daniela to inform them of what she had discovered. With this new evidence, Daniela knew that the case was about to take a dramatic turn, and Elias, as tired as he was, felt a new spark of hope. He was going to find out the truth about what really happened to Anna. But what none of them knew was that Dr. Mariana, desperate to protect her career and reputation, was about to take even more drastic measures to cover up her secrets. With the tension growing and Lara's revelations, the situation began to spiral out of control. Dr. Mariana, feeling the siege closing in, realized that she needed to act quickly, as her secrets were about to be exposed. She knew that her career was at risk and that if she didn't do something drastic, everything she had built could crumble. Meanwhile, at Elias' house, the days were filled with anxiety. Miguel, always determined, spent his time on the phone, organizing the next steps with Daniela and Lara. Elias, in turn, was emotionally exhausted, but knew he had to stay strong for Anna. Vera, realizing that the atmosphere in the house was becoming increasingly tense, decided to gather everyone together for a conversation. Sitting in the living room, she looked at each of those present: Elias, Miguel, Luciana, Lucio, and even Helena, who, despite being young, was deeply involved in the fight for the truth. "We are all tired, and it is clear that this situation is wearing everyone down. But we need to remember who we are doing this for. It is for Anna, for everything she represents for this family. We have to stay united," said Vera, her voice soft but full of conviction. Miguel agreed, although his impatience was visible. "Vera is right. We are close to achieving something concrete, and Mariana is running out of options. But we cannot let our guard down now. We need to act quickly before she does something to cover her tracks," he said. As they discussed their next steps, Elias's phone rang. It was a call from the hospital. He answered, already feeling apprehensive. "Mr. Elias, this is Cecilia, a nurse at the unit where Anna is hospitalized. Something has happened, and I think you should come to the hospital immediately." The urgent tone in Cecilia's voice made Elias' heart race. Without thinking twice, he grabbed his things and, along with Miguel and Luciana, ran to the hospital. When they got there, they were greeted by Cecilia, who looked tense. "What happened?" Elias asked, panting. "I don't know for sure, but Dr. Mariana was acting strangely. She stopped by Anna's ward without warning, which is unusual, and soon after we heard that some of Anna's medical records had disappeared from the system. We thought it best to let you know," explained Cecilia, clearly worried. Elias's stomach turned when he heard that. Mariana was erasing evidence. Wasting no time, Miguel ran to the hospital's administrative department to speak with Paulo, an IT technician he knew who could help them recover the deleted files. Paulo, upon hearing the story, discreetly agreed to help. "If the records were deleted, I can still try to recover them from the system backups." "Give me a few hours," said Paulo, already starting to type frantically on the computer. Meanwhile, Elias and Luciana went to Anna's room. The silence was almost unbearable. Elias approached the bed and, as he had done for so many years, held his granddaughter's hand, feeling the slight warmth of her skin. Even without knowing if she could hear him, he began to speak. "We're close, Anna. We're so close to finding out what really happened. I feel you're there, fighting with us. I won't give up on you, my dear. Never." Her voice cracked, choked with emotion. While they waited for the results of the recovery of the files, Vera, who had stayed behind at home, received an unexpected visitor. It was Leonardo, Elias's youngest son, who had left the family years before, after a series of disagreements. He had not had frequent contact with the family, but the news about Anna reached him, and something compelled him to return. "Vera, I heard what's going on with Dad and Anna. I thought I should come," Leonardo said, with a look of regret on his face. Vera, surprised, opened the door and let him in. "Leonardo, after so much time, what brought you back?" she asked, still in disbelief. "I know I've moved away, that I've made bad choices, but Anna has always been my little sister, and I can't stay away now. If there's anything I can do to help, I want to be here," he said, with sincerity in his voice. Vera smiled, although she knew that Elias would be surprised by Leonardo's arrival. But perhaps reconciliation was what the family needed at this critical moment. Back at the hospital, Paulo finally managed to recover some of the files that had been deleted. He called Elias and Miguel to show them what he had found. "I managed to restore some of Anna's old records, and you'll want to see this," Paulo said, as he opened the files on the monitor. The documents revealed that in the first few months after Anna's accident, there were indeed signs that she might have been conscious. The scans showed enough brain activity to suggest that her condition was not as serious as Mariana had made it out to be. But rather than explore this possibility, Mariana opted for a treatment that essentially kept Ana sedated and with no chance of recovery. Miguel was furious when he saw that. She knew it all along. She knew there was a chance and she chose to ignore it. This is criminal negligence, he shouted, pounding the table. Elias, on the other hand, was in shock. All his suspicions were being confirmed. Mariana had betrayed their trust and, even worse, deprived Ana of a possible chance of recovery. Daniela, upon receiving the evidence, prepared an emergency lawsuit against Dr. Mariana. She also contacted local media outlets, and Lara was ready to release the story, exposing Mariana to the public. But Dr. Mariana, ever astute, was not ready to go down without a fight. She knew her career was at stake and decided to act even more desperately. She called a press conference to defend herself against the accusations, claiming that she was the target of a smear campaign. However, the weight of the evidence and Lara's investigation had already sown doubts in the medical community. At the press conference, while Mariana was speaking, one of the journalists, visibly informed by the documents leaked by Lara, asked a question that destabilized her entire defense. "Doctor, how do you explain the reports that indicate brain activity in Ana in the first few months, and that were ignored in favor of a treatment that kept her sedated for decades?" The room fell silent, and Dr. Mariana's expression changed from confident to distressed. She stammered, trying to find an answer, but it was clear that there was no hiding the truth any longer. At that moment, Elias, Miguel, and the entire team fighting for justice knew that the truth was finally in sight. Fourth, you said. Continue. ChatGPT said. ChatGPT. As Dr. Mariana stammered in front of the reporters, the silence that followed the question was deafening. The audience and the media in attendance began to stir. Lara, who had been following everything closely, knew that this was the decisive moment. The press conference was live, being broadcast to millions of people. The evidence that she, Daniela, and Paulo had gathered was about to implode Mariana's career. Mariana tried to maintain control, but her face was pale and her voice was trembling. She tried to justify herself. These allegations are based on assumptions, on misinterpretations of old medical reports. I always did what was best for the patient. I always made decisions based on what was scientifically proven at the time. But it was too late. The damage had already been done. Meanwhile, Elias, Miguel, and Daniela watched everything on television at home. Elias sat heavily in the armchair, his hands shaking as he watched Mariana being publicly confronted. It was a bitter sense of justice. He had spent more than 3 decades caring for Ana, without knowing that there might be a chance that his granddaughter was there, conscious, observing the world around her. Pain and anger consumed him, but at the same time, there was a hint of relief. Finally, the truth was coming out of the shadows. Miguel, however, was not satisfied with just Mariana's downfall. For him, that was still not enough. "This won't make up for lost time," he said angrily as he turned off the TV. "But at least the world knows what she did." Elijah was silent for a moment before speaking. "We did what we could, Miguel. Now, we need to focus on Ana. She's still here with us." Elijah's words touched Michael. He knew that as much as he wanted immediate justice, what really mattered was Hannah's well-being. Across town, at the hospital, Dr. Mariana was trapped. After the press conference ended, her career had been ruined. She locked herself in her office, her face a mix of anger and despair. Her life was falling apart, and the only thing she could think about was how to get out of this situation. Mariana had a plan, something desperate, something that could ruin everything, but she was ready for anything. She began gathering documents and destroying evidence that could still incriminate her. She was about to erase the last trace of her involvement when Raquel, her personal assistant, entered the room, unaware of the chaos that was unfolding. "Dr. Mariana, there is a court officer at the hospital. It seems that the court is asking for all of Anna's records to be handed over immediately," Raquel warned, nervousness in her voice. Mariana froze. She had no more time. Suddenly, a desperate idea crossed her mind. She turned to Raquel with a stern look. "Raquel, I need you to do something for me. Go to the lab and destroy any blood samples, tissues, or exams related to Ana Souza. Don't leave anything behind," she ordered, no longer hiding the desperation in her voice. Raquel, shocked by the order, hesitated. She had always been loyal to Dr. Mariana, but this went beyond all ethical limits. Dr. Mariana, I can't do this. This is illegal. Raquel stammered, but Mariana interrupted her. If you don't, I guarantee that everything I know about you will come to light, Raquel. Don't forget, you have a lot to lose too, Mariana said coldly, playing her last card. Raquel, with wide eyes, realized she had no way out. She knew that Mariana kept secrets about her personal and professional life, and exposing this could end her career. While Raquel hesitated, on the other side of town, Leonardo, who had recently reunited with his family, was trying to find his place in the fight. He had returned with regret in his heart, wanting to mend his relationship with his father and brothers, but he still didn't know how to insert himself into the battle for Anna's justice. Noticing Leonardo's approach, Elias finally summoned the courage to confront his son. They hadn't spoken in years, and the tension between them was palpable. You came back after so long, Leonardo. Don't you think it's a little too late? Elias asked, his voice full of hurt. Leonardo, with his eyes lowered, replied, I know I was wrong, Dad. I left when you needed me the most, and I regret it every day. But I'm here now, and I want to help. I want to fix what I can, at least with Anna. Elias looked at his son, feeling a mixture of anger and sadness. But at the same time, he recognized the weight of the struggle he had carried alone for so many years. Leonardo's presence, although late, was an unexpected relief. I can't say it will be easy to forgive the past, Leonardo. But if you are here to help, I will give you a chance. Not for me, but for Anna, Elias replied, his voice tired but sincere. As the family began to deal with their internal conflicts, Jorge, the lawyer who had been hired to help defend Anna, brought important new information. Elias, I got a court order to review the hospital's security cameras. It seems that there was some strange movement in the archives sector last night. This could be proof that Dr. Mariana is trying to cover up more than we already know, Jorge said, with an air of hope. Elias felt a new surge of adrenaline at this. He knew they were about to discover more about Mariana's secrets. Paulo, the IT technician who had helped recover the deleted files, also got involved in the investigation of the cameras. Working together with Jorge, they managed to track down a figure who seemed to sneak into the archive sector. The figure, to everyone's surprise, was Raquel. However, when confronted, a visibly shaken Raquel revealed Mariana's true plan, exposing the pressure and threats she had suffered. By confessing her role, she gave away crucial information that could finally incriminate Mariana and put an end to the cycle of lies. As Rachel spoke, Elias realized that the end was near. The end of a decades-long struggle that had consumed his life and the lives of everyone around him. Now, all that remained was to see how Mariana would deal with her impending downfall. Raquel, with tears in her eyes, confessed everything she knew. She looked at Elias, Jorge, Miguel, and the others who were present in the hospital room, as if she was relieved to finally reveal the truth. She threatened me. She said that if I didn't delete the files, everything she knew about me would come to light. Mariana has power, influence. She thinks she can manipulate people like pieces on a board, but I couldn't go through with it. Not after seeing what they did to Anna, Raquel said, her voice cracking with emotion. Miguel, always impetuous, took a step forward, feeling a mixture of anger and empathy. Raquel, you did the right thing by coming to us. We know that Mariana is capable of terrible things, and we finally have evidence to incriminate her. Now we need to act quickly before she does something even more dangerous, he said, trying to remain calm. Jorge, the lawyer, also knew that time was of the essence. With Raquel's testimony and the camera footage, we can finally take this case to court. Mariana has nowhere left to run. I'm going to prepare a court order for her to be taken into custody while we investigate further what she's done in recent years, Jorge said, already picking up his cell phone to call the judge in charge. Meanwhile, in Anna's room, Elijah approached his granddaughter, as he did every day. He sat down next to her bed and took her hand, feeling the light pressure of her fingers. He looked at Anna's serene face and felt a mixture of sadness and hope. We are so close, my dear. So close to justice. I just wish you were here, really, to see it all, he said, as silent tears rolled down his face. Luciana, who was always by Elias' side, placed her hand on her father's shoulder in a gesture of support. She knows, Father. Somewhere, somehow, Anna knows we are fighting for her, Luciana said, trying to comfort the old man. At that moment, the bedroom door opened, and Joao, the nurse who was taking care of Anna, came in, bringing some updates on the young woman's health. Elias, something happened in the last few hours. We did new tests on Anna, and the results show a significant change in her brain activity. It's as if, somehow, she was reacting to stimuli more intensely than before. We don't know for sure what this means, but there's a possibility that she's more aware than we thought, said Joao, cautiously, but also with a spark of hope. Elijah looked at John, unsure of how to react. After so many years of silence, it seemed impossible. But what John was suggesting was that perhaps Anna was conscious in some way. What you're saying is that Anna might be listening, understanding what's going on around her? Elias asked, feeling his heart race. It's a possibility. We can't confirm it yet, but there are signs that she may be conscious at some level. We need to do more tests, but I wanted you to know, Joao replied, with a shy smile. Miguel, upon hearing the news, quickly entered the room, his eyes wide with surprise. Is this real? Are you saying that Anna might be present, conscious? He asked in disbelief. John nodded. It's too early to say for sure, but the tests are promising. We can't rule out the possibility that it's somehow connected to what's going on around her, he explained. Elias, still holding Anna's hand, felt a wave of emotions. After 33 years of caring for his granddaughter, never losing hope, this news seemed like the miracle he had been waiting for his whole life. The oppressive silence that had enveloped Anna for decades seemed to be breaking. At the same time, outside the hospital, Mariana was at home, living what was left of her chaotic life. She had received news of the court order that Jorge had obtained. She knew she was about to be arrested and that her empire of lies was crumbling. But she still had one last trick. Something that could guarantee her freedom, or at least delay the inevitable. She made a call. I need a favor. It's urgent. You know what to do, Mariana said to someone on the other end of the line. Not long after, Luis, one of her most shadowy contacts, showed up at her door. He had been Mariana's accomplice in several affairs over the years and was involved in many of her manipulations. Mariana explained her plan to him, desperately trying to stay in control of the situation. If I fall, Louise, everything we did together will come to light. You will be dragged into this too. I need to be taken out of the country before the police come looking for me. I have a fake passport and contacts who can help me disappear, Mariana said, with a cold look. Louise, though reluctant, knew he had no choice. Mariana was dangerous, and betraying her would be his own undoing. They began to plot an escape plan, but time was against them. The police, armed with Raquel's evidence and Jorge's court order, were already on their way to Mariana's house. Meanwhile, back at the hospital, Paulo, the IT technician, had finally managed to access Anna's complete medical records, revealing even more negligence and unethical practices that Mariana had committed over the years. Jorge's legal team was ready to move all the pieces, but the most important thing for Elias and Miguel was that Anna finally seemed to be closer to waking up. Late in the afternoon, the police arrived at Mariana's house, surrounding her on all sides. But when they entered, she was no longer there. Louise had managed to get her out in a hurry, and now Mariana was missing, fleeing the consequences of her actions. However, her escape would not free her from the truth. Justice was on the move, and with the media now knowing everything, Mariana had become a fugitive. Back at the hospital, as night fell, Elias sat by Anna's bedside once more. This time, however, there was something different in the air. The silence was no longer one of despair, but of anticipation. The possibility that Anna was finally beginning to wake up brought new hope to a family that had suffered for so long. Elias, in a soft voice, whispered to his granddaughter, "I'm here, Anna. We're going to get through this together." And for a brief moment, he swore he saw Anna's eyes move. Elias stood still, his eyes fixed on Anna's face. Did he really see that? A slight movement, almost imperceptible, as if her eyes had reacted to his presence. Elias' heart beat wildly. He looked around, searching for Luciana and Miguel, who were outside the room, talking to Joao and Jorge about the next legal steps. Still unsure of what he had seen, Elias leaned closer to his granddaughter, his voice choked with emotion. "Anna, if you can hear me, please make a sign. Anything," he begged, gently squeezing her hand. For a second, silence filled the room again. Elias was about to give up, thinking his mind was playing tricks on him, when he felt a gentle pressure on his hand. Anna's fingers moved, albeit subtly, but enough to make Elias hold his breath. "Anna, are you there?" he said, almost in a whisper, his voice trembling with hope and disbelief. At that moment, Luciana entered the room and saw her father leaning over his granddaughter's bed, with an expression of pure surprise and emotion. "Dad, what happened?" Luciana asked, worried, realizing that something was happening. Elijah raised his head, with tears in his eyes, and answered in a trembling voice. She squeezed my hand. Anna, she listened to me." Luciana, stunned, ran to Anna's bed, taking the young woman's other hand. She also tried to speak to her sister, her voice now filled with hope. "Anna, please, if you can hear us, try to move your fingers again. We're all here, waiting for you," Luciana said, feeling her heart beat faster. This time, the answer was a little clearer. Anna's fingers moved again, and her eyes, still closed, seemed to react to something. Luciana let out a sigh of relief mixed with tears. She's reacting, Luciana said, with a mixture of laughter and tears. Miguel and João entered the room right after hearing Luciana's screams, and the expression on their faces changed instantly as they realized something incredible was happening. João quickly approached to check Anna's vital signs, confirming her reaction. "The signs are increasing. Brain activity is significantly higher than before. This could be the beginning of a gradual awakening," explained João, with a tone of excitement, yet cautious. Miguel, who had always been the most skeptical and angry, approached the bed, still stunned by what he was seeing. He crouched down next to Anna, speaking hesitantly. "Anna, I know I've been away for a long time. I know I should have done more for you, but if you're listening to us now, know that I'm here and I'll fight for you, like I always should have." As he spoke, a single tear ran down Anna's face. Miguel, paralyzed, looked at the others in the room in disbelief. She's crying." His voice came out in a whisper, as if he himself didn't believe it. It was a miracle. Anna, after 33 years of silence, was beginning to respond, albeit slowly. The excitement in the room was palpable, and everyone, including the skeptical Miguel, now believed that something extraordinary was happening. Jorge, who was watching the scene closely, discreetly wiped away the tears that welled up in his eyes and spoke in a matter-of-fact manner, although his voice was filled with emotion. "We need to bring together the best neurologists to understand what is happening. This is something we have never seen before. Let's make sure Anna gets the care she needs now. The fight is just beginning, but with the truth coming out and her recovery, everything changes." Meanwhile, somewhere outside the city, Mariana continued her escape. Her mind was racing, but despair was beginning to set in. She knew that sooner or later she would be found. The fall was near, and now that Anna was waking up, there would be no more covering up her crimes. She was becoming public enemy number one, and every step she took her deeper into the abyss of total ruin. On the other side of town, at the hospital, the mood was euphoric. João made sure to bring the new tests that confirmed the significant increase in Anna's brain activity, and the family was already starting to plan how she would recover. Elias, however, kept his feet on the ground. "We still have a long way to go, but the fact that Anna is reacting is the sign we were waiting for. We will continue fighting, for her and for ourselves. This battle is not over yet," said Elias, his voice firm but full of gratitude. In the days that followed, the specialists began working intensively on Anna's case, exploring every possibility to help her regain full consciousness. And each day, her answers became a little clearer. Anna was slowly returning to the world. As the days passed, the medical team dedicated themselves to stimulating Anna in a variety of ways. Neurologists introduced a range of therapies, both physical and cognitive, in the hope that each interaction would help reconnect Anna with the world around her. They played her favorite music, brought out old photographs, and even encouraged her family to talk to her regularly. Elias and Luciana spent hours at Anna's bedside, sharing family stories and memories from the past. Miguel also made an effort to be present, feeling that every word could make a difference. The room, which had previously been somber and silent, was now filled with hope and love. One day, while Luciana was holding Anna's hand, she remembered a special moment from Anna's childhood. "Remember when you taught me how to ride a bike, Anna? I was so scared, and you stood there holding the handlebars, telling me I could do it. You were always so brave," Luciana said, her voice trembling but full of affection. It was at that moment that Anna's eyes, which had previously been closed, seemed to move slightly, as if they were trying to open. Luciana was paralyzed, her heart racing. "Anna, try to open your eyes, please," she begged. Elijah, who had been watching, quickly approached. "Anna, can you hear us? Try hard, dear," he said, his voice full of emotion. After a few moments, to everyone's surprise, Anna's eyes finally opened slowly. The light in the room seemed to blind her senses, but she was awake. A small moan escaped her lips, and everyone around her held their breath. "Anna, you're here!" Luciana exclaimed, her voice brimming with joy. Miguel, in a mixture of surprise and happiness, leaned closer. "You're with us, Anna. We're here for you," he said, his voice breaking. Anna looked around, a little confused, but clearly trying to understand what was happening. She tried to move her lips, and a soft, almost inaudible voice came out. "D-Dad," Anna whispered, the word barely leaving her mouth, but still echoing like a miracle. Elias almost fainted with emotion. He held her hand even tighter, as if he wanted to make sure that all of this was real. "Yes, my dear. It's me, he said, tears streaming down his face. "You're safe now. We're all here." The medical team, upon hearing the conversation, quickly entered the room, observing with surprise and joy what was happening. João, now with a broad smile, approached. "Anna, you're recovering. We're going to take care of you and make sure you get all the help you need. You're not alone," he said, seeing the determination in Anna's eyes. The family's presence seemed to be awakening something inside her. Anna began to try to move her fingers, her expression changing from confusion to determination. Tears were now streaming freely down her face. What happened?" Anna asked, her voice still weak, but already clearer. Elias and Luciana exchanged a look of understanding. It was time to tell the truth. "You had an accident, Anna, and you were in a coma for a long time. But we're here, and you're finally back," Luciana explained, her voice full of love and relief. Anna blinked, trying to process the information. "Why? I don't remember," she murmured, as if trying to connect the pieces. Elias stepped even closer, holding her hands. "Don't worry about that now. What matters is that you're with us again. We'll help you remember," he said, smiling. But while the family celebrated this new phase, outside the hospital, the atmosphere was tense. Mariana was on the run, but she could not escape the shadow of her actions. The noose was closing in, and she knew that time was running out. Luis, her accomplice, had distanced himself, and Mariana was now alone. Mariana decided to seek help from old contacts, but her reputation was already ruined. People who had once respected her now feared her, and the trust she had built was quickly shattered. In a moment of desperation, she decided to return to the city, hoping that there was still a way around the situation. Meanwhile, in the hospital, Anna's recovery began to gain momentum. She underwent occupational therapy sessions, and specialists worked hard to help her rehabilitate not only her motor functions, but also her memory. With each passing day, Anna became more alert, and slowly her memories began to return. One day, while Elijah was with her, Hannah began to recall some memories from her childhood. I remember you teaching me how to swim in the lake. You always told me not to be afraid of the water," Anna said, her eyes shining as she remembered. Elias smiled, feeling emotional. "Yes, and you learned to swim so well. You were always so brave. We are so proud of you, Anna. You are making incredible progress," he replied, his heart full of love. Anna looked into her grandfather's eyes, a faint smile forming on her lips. "And Miguel, is he still here?" Anna asked, her voice still trembling. "He is. We are all here for you. No matter what happens, we will support you," Elias assured, feeling that every word was important. Meanwhile, Miguel and Luciana were outside, talking about what Anna's life would be like from now on. The weight of the past decades was slowly beginning to dissipate. "We have to make sure Mariana doesn't do this to anyone again," Miguel said, determination visible in his gaze. "This can't go unpunished." Luciana agreed. "We're going to gather the evidence and make sure she pays for everything she's done. And we also have to make sure Anna has the support she needs to make a full recovery." With the support of her family, Anna began to realize that she had a new life ahead of her. She was surrounded by love and protection, and the battle for justice was just beginning. However, Mariana, now desperate and running out of options, was about to make a drastic decision. She would not give up so easily, and the consequences of her actions were about to manifest in unexpected ways. Anna, alongside her family, knew that she was about to embark on a journey not only to reclaim her life, but also to face the truth and fight for the justice she so desperately desired. The time of suffering was coming to an end, and the light was beginning to shine once more. As the days turned into weeks, Anna began to adjust to her new routine at the hospital. The treatments were exhausting, but every small victory was celebrated. She remembered more details of her life, the laughter they shared, and the moments of happiness. The affection of her family wrapped around her like a warm blanket, warming her heart and giving her the strength to keep fighting. Elias, always by her side, became her greatest support. He told stories of his childhood days and how life had changed since Anna fell ill. He remembered the adventures they had had together and how, as a child, she loved climbing trees and running through the fields. "Remember that time you tried to build a tree house?" Elias asked, smiling. "You climbed so high I thought I'd never see you again." Anna laughed, a soft laugh that sounded like music to Elias's ears. "I remember. I thought I could make an amazing house, but all I got was a big mess," Anna said, her voice full of nostalgia. The happiness of being present and the joy of hearing his granddaughter's voice were healing for Elias. He felt lighter, and the worries about Mariana and the consequences of his actions seemed momentarily distant. Meanwhile, outside the hospital, pressure on Mariana was mounting. Details about her past life and connections were beginning to emerge, and the police were getting closer to discovering her whereabouts. She felt increasingly isolated and afraid. To protect herself, Mariana turned to an unlikely ally. "We need a plan. Some way to divert the police's attention," Mariana told Fabio, a former colleague from the criminal world whom she had contacted. He was shrewd and had knowledge of police investigations. Fabio, skeptical, analyzed the situation. "Look, Mariana, you need to understand that you are playing on a very dangerous field. You can't just disappear. If the police are looking for you, they won't give up," he said, with a suspicious look. Mariana, determined, replied, "I can't get caught now. Anna is waking up, and if she talks, I'll go to jail. You have to help me change my face, disappear. If I leave the country, all this is over." Fabio hesitated, but the need for money and the promise of a large payment convinced him to help. He began to form a plan, but he knew he had to be careful. Mariana, on the other hand, felt increasingly terrified, wondering what Anna might reveal. At the hospital, Anna's therapy sessions continued to make progress. She was learning to communicate more clearly, and her voice was slowly returning. One day, after a particularly intense session, João brought her a surprise. "Anna, we have something special for you," he said, smiling. "Your family has come together to bring you something you've always loved, a little musical performance." Anna looked intrigued. "Music?" he asked, his voice still hesitant, but full of curiosity. Soon, Luciana and Miguel entered the room, carrying instruments they had arranged. Luciana held a guitar and Miguel held a flute. They were both beaming with joy. "Let's play your favorite songs, Anna. You always loved that," Luciana said excitedly. Miguel began to play a soft melody that Anna recognized immediately. It was a song they used to listen to together on summer afternoons, sitting in the garden. The music filled the room, and Anna felt something awaken inside her. The notes took her back to memories of happy times, where pain and suffering seemed far away. She closed her eyes and, to everyone's surprise, began to move her lips, trying to follow the melody. Each note seemed to help her connect even more with her essence. "That's amazing. You're remembering," Miguel said, excited. "Keep going, Anna." The three of them let themselves be carried away by the music, and the atmosphere became magical. It was as if time had stopped, and the pain of the past few years had disappeared, if not just for a moment. After the presentation, Anna was radiant, her smile lighting up the room. "Thank you. I remember. I feel the music inside me," she said, her voice stronger, clearer. Elias, moved, held Anna's hand. "You're making amazing progress, my love. We're so proud of you." Meanwhile, outside the hospital, the atmosphere was tense. Mariana prepared to escape, but the weight of her actions began to take its toll. Guilt haunted her, and memories of decided Anna that if it was really necessary, she could even go back to the hospital, but not to face Anna and her family. Mariana wanted to end any possibility that Anna could report her. The idea consumed her, and a blind rage began to take over her mind. One night, while Anna was sleeping, a tense atmosphere settled over the hospital. Raquel, who had become one of the family's closest nurses, was on duty and felt a strange presence. She couldn't identify what it was, but her intuition told her that something wasn't right. Mariana, in disguise, managed to enter the hospital with ease, using the chaos of the night. She sneaked through the corridors, her heart beating rapidly, full of determination. The only thing that went through her mind was that she could not allow Anna to speak. She went to Anna's room, and the moment she saw her there, calm, made her heart race. Anger and despair consumed her. "Do you really think you can stop me, Anna?" Mariana whispered, her voice full of venom. "You don't know what I'm capable of." But at that moment, Anna woke up, noticing someone's presence. She turned around and, upon seeing Mariana, a chill ran down her spine. "What are you doing here?" Anna asked, her voice shaking. Mariana approached, a dark smile forming on her face. "Oh, you must be so happy to see me, huh? The last thing you'll see before this is all over," she said with a soft laugh. Anna, realizing the gravity of the situation, remembered everything she had been through and the strength she felt within herself. She could not let Mariana defeat her again. "I'm not afraid of you, Mariana. I'm going to tell the truth about what you did." "You can't silence me," Anna said, her voice gaining strength. Mariana, overcome with fury, advanced towards Anna, but at that moment, Raquel entered the room, interrupting the scene. "What's going on here?" Raquel shouted, seeing the tension in the air. Mariana, realizing she had been discovered, tried to get away quickly, but it was too late. Raquel activated the security alarm, calling the hospital security team. Anna, in a moment of courage, looked Mariana directly in the eyes. "You may have kept me silent for years, but now I will fight. No matter what you do, I will tell the truth," Anna said, her voice firm. Security guards arrived quickly and arrested Mariana, who screamed in frustration. What was supposed to be a night of despair turned into a moment of resilience and courage. Elias and Luciana ran into the room, alarmed. "Anna, are you okay?" Luciana asked, seeing the situation. "I'm fine, but Mariana." "She tried to silence me," Anna replied, still trembling, but now full of determination. Elias, with a firm gaze, addressed Mariana, who was being taken away. "You won't hurt anyone anymore, Mariana. This is your time to face the consequences," he said, his voice full of power. As Mariana was led away, Anna felt a weight lifted from her shoulders. The truth was finally beginning to prevail, and she was ready to face whatever came next. The light she had lost for so long was now flickering brightly, and with her family by her side, Anna knew the fight for justice was only just beginning. The atmosphere at the hospital changed dramatically after Mariana's arrest. Anna, though still shaken, felt a renewed sense of hope. The family was united like never before, and her courage to face the truth inspired everyone around her. In the weeks that followed, the medical team focused not only on Anna's physical recovery, but also on ensuring she had emotional support. Psychologists were called in to help her cope, and each session revealed more about the inner strength Anna always had, even in the darkest moments. Elias, Luciana, and Miguel were always nearby, ready to offer support. One sunny afternoon, while Anna was recovering, they decided to take her for a walk in the hospital garden. It was a peaceful area, full of flowers and trees, and Anna felt refreshed by the fresh air. "Everything seems so different out here," Anna said, looking at the flowers and smelling the freshly cut grass. "I remember how much I used to enjoy spending time here." Luciana smiled, pulling the wheelchair closer to the flower path. "We're so happy you're here again. You've always brought so much joy to our lives. Let's do this more often, okay?" she said, holding Anna's hand. Anna nodded, gratitude shining in her eyes. "Ido. And I promise I'll try hard to walk again. I want to run and dance again." His determination was palpable. Meanwhile, Mariana was facing the consequences of her actions. After her arrest, she was subjected to a series of interrogations. The pressure from the police and the revelation of her crimes left her in a state of despair. However, She knew she had to find a way to defend herself. "You have no idea what you're doing. I'm not the only one responsible for this. Others are involved, and if I go down, they will too," Mariana told one of the detectives, trying to create a defense. But the detectives were skeptical. They had enough evidence to charge her, and Mariana realized her manipulation was wearing thin. "You can still save yourself if you tell everything," one of the detectives suggested. "If you cooperate, there might be a chance of a lighter sentence." Mariana hesitated, but the idea of reporting her accomplices terrified her. In her mind, she thought about Fabio and how he might retaliate if he found out that she had betrayed him. As the pressure mounted, Anna continued her recovery. She enrolled in physical and occupational therapy sessions, where she began working on improving the mobility of her arms and legs. With each small achievement, the family celebrated with joy. One day during a therapy session, John brought up a new exercise. He wanted Anna to try to get up from her wheelchair and take a step. Anna was nervous, but the presence of her family by her side encouraged her. "You can do it, Anna. Let's go together, step by step," said Miguel, holding her hand. With a deep sigh, Anna placed her feet on the ground and, with Joao's help, tried to get up. The effort was immense, but her desire to live again was even greater. Finally, after an intense struggle, she managed to get up. One step, then another. "I'm walking!" Anna exclaimed, her emotion overflowing. Luciana and Elias began to applaud, and tears of happiness streamed down everyone's faces. Anna's determination became increasingly clear. "This is just the beginning. You will recover completely, Anna," said Joao, smiling. Meanwhile, outside the hospital, life went on. Mariana, in an attempt to free herself, decided she needed a plan. She contacted Fabio again, willing to make a deal. "We need to do something before they find out," Mariana said, her voice tense. "I can't go to prison. You need to help me get out of here." Fabio, always skeptical, replied, "What if you get caught? It will only make your situation worse. You need to be smart about this." Mariana began to hatch a new idea. She planned to use the confusion generated by the investigation to disappear and start over somewhere else. But Fabio was hesitant. He didn't want to get involved in something that could put his own freedom at risk. As tensions rose, Anna and her family became increasingly focused on recovery and the fight for justice. Information about Mariana's crimes was spreading, and the media began covering the case, which increased the pressure on Anna's former sister-in-law. "We have to prepare for the trial," Elias said in a conversation with Luciana and Miguel. "The truth needs to come out, and we need to make sure Anna is ready to share her story." "What if Mariana tries to do something?" Luciana asked, worried. "We will protect Anna. We will not let her touch her again," Miguel stated, determined. Anna was increasingly ready to face her past and the reality of what had happened. In her sessions with the psychologist, she began to work through her feelings towards Mariana. The anger and pain were great, but she wanted to overcome them so she could move on. "You can't let what happened in the past control your future, Anna," advised the psychologist. "It's important to find a way to leave it behind." Anna took a deep breath, realizing that the path to recovery was also a path to forgiveness. Not just for Mariana, but for herself. As time went on, the trial date approached. Mariana prepared to defend herself, and Anna prepared to tell the truth. The contrast between their lives was becoming increasingly evident, and the climax of this story was about to unfold. On the day of the trial, the courtroom was packed with reporters, and the atmosphere was electric. Anna arrived accompanied by Elias, Luciana, and Miguel. They were there not only to support Anna, but to ensure that the truth was heard. As Mariana was led into the courtroom, Anna felt a mix of emotions. Fear, anger, but most of all, determination. She was about to rewrite her story. As the judge entered and the formalities began, Anna's heart pounded. She knew she was about to face her greatest challenge yet. But as she looked at her family, she was reminded that she was not alone. With renewed courage, she prepared to speak. The battle for her life and her truth was about to begin, and she was ready to fight. As the judge began the session, Anna felt butterflies in her stomach. But as she looked at Elias, Luciana, and Miguel, a warm feeling of courage spread through her body. The courtroom was full, and the curious eyes of the press and the public were pressing in on her, But she knew she had to do this for herself and for all the victims who had not yet been able to free themselves from Mariana's shadow. When Mariana was called to testify, Anna felt her heart race. Mariana's expression was a mixture of defiance and despair. She was surrounded by her lawyers, who looked confident, but Anna knew the truth could not be silenced. Mariana's defense attorney began his speech. The accused, Mariana, is a woman who lost herself in a dangerous world. She is not the only one responsible for her actions, he said, trying to create a scenario in which the blame would be diluted. Anna hung on every word, and anger began to boil inside her. When it was her turn to testify, the prosecution attorney encouraged her. "Anna, can you tell us what happened?" he asked, his voice soft but firm. Anna took a deep breath, feeling adrenaline rush through her veins. "I'm not just a victim. I'm a survivor. Mariana trapped me in a world of pain for years. She stole my life, my freedom." With each word, she felt the strength grow inside her. "But I'm here to tell the truth." The audience was silent, their eyes fixed on Anna. She continued, recounting how she had been kept in a coma and how Mariana had manipulated her. Her words were clear and direct, and she felt more and more support from her family and the audience. "Mariana left me paralyzed, but she will not silence me anymore. I am no longer afraid of her," Anna declared, her voice echoing in the courtroom. Mariana, upon hearing this, lost her composure. She stood up, shouting, "You don't understand. I did what I had to do to survive. You can't blame me for this." The judge banged his gavel, calling for order. "Silence, ma'am," he ordered, but Mariana continued to protest, now looking desperate. Anna felt a surge of empathy for Mariana, but also a certainty that she had to keep going. She looked at the judge, and then at her family, seeking strength. "I don't want other people to go through what I went through. If you have any humanity left, Mariana, acknowledge what you did and help put an end to it," Anna said, her voice now calm and firm. The judge looked at Anna, clearly impressed. "Thank you, Anna. Your courage is admirable." The court sessions continued, with witnesses and evidence being presented. Fabio was called to testify. He hesitated, but the pressure of the case forced him to speak. Mariana wasn't the only one, but she was the mastermind behind it all. "I helped her with some things, but I'm not here to protect her. I'm responsible for my choices, and what she did was unacceptable," Fabio admitted, his voice shaking. Anna felt a sense of relief. The truth was finally coming out, and each new statement helped build her case. She realized she wasn't alone. Every person who stood up to speak was right there with her, strengthening her resolve. Finally, it was time for Mariana to defend herself. Her lawyer tried to discredit Anna, trying to tarnish her image and claiming that she was exaggerating. But Anna was undeterred. She had found her voice, and she was not going to let anyone silence her. Mariana's defense presented a strategy that she had acted in self-defense, but that didn't make sense to most people present. Anna felt the tide was turning in her favor. She and her family were proof that the truth always prevails. After days of testimony, the judge announced that the trial was coming to an end. Closing arguments were made, and Anna felt stronger than ever. As she looked at her family, she knew they would be together, no matter the outcome. When the day of sentencing arrived, the courtroom was packed. Everyone anxiously awaited the judge's decision. Anna felt butterflies in her stomach, but she was ready for any outcome. The judge paused before speaking, looking out at the audience. "After considering the evidence and testimony presented, I find the defendant, Mariana, guilty of her crimes. You not only hurt Anna, but you also left a trail of pain in many other lives." A wave of relief and joy washed over the court. Anna couldn't hold back her tears. She turned to her family, who were crying with happiness. Mariana, now decomposed, was led out of the courtroom, and Anna felt she had finally found closure, she murmured to herself as her family members hugged around her. Anna's fight was not just to seek justice, but also to get her life back. With the support of her loved ones, she began to dream again. With each small step she took, Anna reconnected with the world. After the trial, the family decided to take a trip, a time to celebrate all they had overcome. They went to a place Anna had always dreamed of visiting, a small lakeside village surrounded by mountains. During the trip, Anna felt alive again. The laughter, the shared stories, and the moments of pure happiness were exactly what she needed. "Let's make this a tradition," said Luciana, as everyone sat at the table for a special dinner. Anna smiled, looking at each of them. The joy of being surrounded by people who loved her was all she had ever wanted. "I want to live, and live fully," Anna said, full of hope. "I will not let my past define my future." With each new day, Anna became stronger and more confident. Recovery was a process, but she was determined to move forward, with the love and support of her family by her side. Mariana was far away, serving her sentence, but Anna no longer felt trapped by fear. She had faced her demons and, with that, gained a new life, full of opportunities and dreams. Anna's story was not just one of pain, but of resilience. She knew that no matter what challenges came her way, she had the power to shape her own destiny. And so, Anna began to write a new chapter in her life, one filled with light and hope. After the trip to the village, Anna returned to the hospital to continue her rehabilitation. She was more determined than ever to overcome the physical limitations that Mariana had imposed on her. With each physiotherapy session, she felt stronger. With the support of Joao, her physiotherapist, Anna began to do more challenging exercises. "You're doing great, Anna," exclaimed John, as she tried to get up from the floor, supporting herself with a bar. "I'm impressed with your willpower." "I just want to walk again, run again, live again," Anna replied, breathless but smiling. She had set ambitious goals for herself, and each small achievement motivated her even more. Over time, she began to take small steps, and the feeling of freedom was indescribable. Her family was always there, celebrating each step forward. Elias, in particular, was thrilled with his granddaughter's transformation. "You're doing it, Anna. I'm so proud of you," he said, with tears in his eyes. Anna smiled at him, feeling the warmth of love and support surrounding her. But even in the midst of her recovery, there was one persistent theme that troubled her: Mariana. Did she really learn anything? Anna wondered, in a moment of reflection with her family. "I can't help but wonder if one day she will become a different person." Luciana, always perceptive, replied, "Some people never change, Anna. What matters is that you focus on your own journey. We can't change the past, but we can shape our future." Anna agreed, but the idea that Mariana might continue to hurt others troubled her. She knew the system could fail, and innocent people could be harmed again. One night, Anna decided she needed to do something about it. She sought out a support group for abuse survivors and began sharing her story. By opening up to others who had been through similar experiences, she found a sense of purpose. "I'm here to show that it's possible to overcome," said Anna in one of the meetings, looking into the eyes of each participant. "We don't need to let the past define who we are. We need to fight for ourselves and for the truth." Over time, Anna became an active voice in the group, helping others heal. The empathy and understanding she offered was a balm for those still struggling to find their own voice. One day, she decided to organize a walk in solidarity with all the victims. The event attracted media attention and became a platform for more people to share their stories. Anna spoke with passion, using her experience to encourage others to speak out. "Today, we are here, not just for ourselves, but for all the voices that have been silenced," Anna shouted, raising her fists in the air. The audience applauded, and she felt a surge of energy and solidarity. In that moment, she realized that she was transforming her pain into power and inspiring many to do the same. As Anna grew into her new mission, Mariana's life in prison took a very different path. With the pressure of her conviction mounting, she began to reevaluate herself. During her time incarcerated, she had many hours to reflect on her actions and the impact they had had on Anna's life. Mariana found herself in several therapy sessions, where she began to confront her own history of pain and trauma. Although she still resisted fully accepting her responsibility, she began to understand that her life had become a series of bad choices, influenced by her own insecurities and fears. One night, while reflecting in her cubicle, Mariana decided that she needed to come to terms with her past. She began writing letters, not only to her family but also to Anna, expressing her feelings and seeking a path to redemption. "I don't expect you to forgive me," Mariana wrote, her hand shaking as she formed the words. "But I want you to know that I'm sorry. I didn't want all this to happen." Meanwhile, Anna continued her healing journey. The walk in solidarity was a success and inspired many. Anna began receiving invitations to speak at events, always remembering where she came from, but focusing on the future. Over time, She realized that she had transformed her pain into a powerful impulse to help others break free from their chains. But Mariana was always on her mind. She didn't want to feel angry, she wanted to understand. After several letters and attempts at communication, Anna decided it was time to visit Mariana in prison. With the support of her family and her therapist, Anna was ready to confront her former sister-in-law, not with anger, but with the intention of understanding and, perhaps, finding a path to forgiveness. "Why do you want to do this?" Elias asked, concerned. "You don't need to put yourself at risk again." "I won't, Dad. But I want to know why all this happened." "I can't let this consume me," Anna replied, determined. During the visit, Anna sat across from Mariana, who looked a little different, more vulnerable. Mariana's gaze was no longer defiant. It was a mixture of regret and sadness. "Anna, Mariana began, hesitantly. "I don't know how to apologize for what I did. I let you suffer." Anna took a deep breath, preparing herself for the conversation that would change their lives. "I'm here because I want to understand. I want to know what happened to you to get to this point." Mariana looked down, remembering her own life story and the decisions that led her there. "I grew up in a difficult home. I always felt inadequate. When you were born, I became obsessed with controlling everything as a way to protect myself. But it wasn't protection, it was a prison." Mariana's eyes were filled with tears. Anna, listening to Mariana's words, realized that her ex-sister-in-law's story of pain was also tragic, but it did not absolve her of her actions. "What you did was unacceptable. You hurt me and our family, but I want you to know that I'm trying to move on, and I can't carry this weight alone." Mariana remained silent, absorbing Anna's words. "I want to change. I want to be a better person." Tears streamed down Mariana's face. "And if you can forgive me, I promise I'll do whatever it takes to make amends." Anna felt a mix of emotions. Forgiveness was not something that could be given easily, but in that moment, she understood that true healing did not come from revenge, but from liberation. "I don't know if I can forgive you now, but I'm willing to think about it." Anna looked Mariana straight in the eyes. "We need time." The visit ended, and Anna left prison with a different weight on her heart. She knew that the road to healing for both of them would be long, but she had the feeling that, for the first time, Mariana was willing to face her responsibilities. As the months passed, Anna continued her journey, now with a new perspective. Her focus on helping others and her own recovery became even stronger. She felt free, not only physically, but emotionally. Meanwhile, Mariana began working on her own rehabilitation. The letters Anna wrote to her became a form of dialogue. Mariana was willing to face her truth and learn from her past. Anna and Mariana's story intertwined in unexpected ways, both on journeys of self-discovery and growth. Anna realized that, even though their paths were different, they were both searching for light in the midst of darkness. And so, little by little, they began to rewrite their stories, not as victims, but as survivors, each finding their own path to healing and redemption. As Anna continued her healing journey, the connection that was forming between her and Mariana became more complex and meaningful. The letters they exchanged began to deepen, touching not only on their painful past, but also on their dreams and hopes for the future. In one of her letters, Anna wrote, "Mariana, I'm learning to understand that we are all shaped by our experiences. Our paths may have been different, but what matters is what we do with the lessons we've learned. I'm here, rooting for you." Mariana, upon receiving the letter, felt touched. She began to write more frequently, expressing her feelings of guilt and regret. With each exchange of letters, she opened up more, revealing her weaknesses and insecurities. "Anna, your strength inspires me. I never thought I could have hope again. I want to be a better mother, a better sister. I want to change, but I don't know if I can," Mariana wrote, her vulnerability exposed in her words. Anna responded with empathy, encouraging Mariana to believe that change was possible. She knew that Mariana's recovery would depend not only on the letters, but on concrete actions. It was a long process, but a seed of hope had been planted. Meanwhile, Anna devoted herself intensely to her work with the support group. She organized more awareness-raising events and began developing programs to help other abuse victims get back on their feet. Her testimony became a source of inspiration, and people began to see her as a leader in her community. "Anna, you are a true heroine," exclaimed one of the participants at a meeting. Your story is powerful, and you give us strength to fight for ourselves." Anna smiled, but she always remembered that the real hero was the person who fought every day, even when no one was looking. The support of her family kept her feet on the ground, and the accomplishment of her work brought renewed purpose to her life. As time went on, Anna decided it was time to take a bigger step in her own recovery. She began planning a walk around the city to raise funds for the support group. The event, titled Walk for Hope, was intended to raise funds and raise awareness in the community about the importance of talking about abuse and recovery. The city embraced the idea. Local businesses sponsored the event, and media coverage brought visibility. Anna was thrilled to see so many people sign up, many of whom were survivors like her. "That's amazing, Anna," said Miguel, her cousin, when they were organizing the event. "You're going to make a difference in many people's lives." On the day of the walk, the weather was perfect. The energy was palpable as hundreds of people gathered to support the cause. Anna, wearing a t-shirt that read "Voices That Matter," felt accomplished. With each step she took, she was reminded of all she had overcome. As she walked, Anna met familiar faces. Members of her support group, family friends, and even some people she had never met but who were inspired by her story. "We're here for you, Anna," the crowd shouted, and the words filled her with emotion. At the end of the walk, Anna went up to the stage to give a speech. Her heart was beating fast, but she was ready. "Thank you all for being here today. Each of you is proof that hope exists, even in the darkest moments." The crowd applauded, and she felt strengthened by their collective energy. "When I went through what I went through, I never imagined that I would be here, in front of you, sharing my story and fighting for such an important cause." She took a deep breath, looking at the audience. "But I'm not the only one. We're in this fight together, and together we can make a difference." The energy in the audience was contagious. Anna realized that each person present had their own battles, but there, in that moment, everyone was unified by a common purpose. Meanwhile, outside the event, Mariana watched, hidden among the crowd. She had been granted a day of temporary freedom to watch the walk, and what she saw moved her deeply. Anna's strength and the light that emanated from her were inspiring. "I can't believe you did this," said Fabio, who was standing next to her. "You couldn't imagine she would go this far." "I never imagined it," Mariana replied, her voice breaking. "I just hoped that
Mariana
one day
felt
I
a
could do
mixture
something
of
similar
pride
and regret." Seeing Anna shine in front of so many people, she realized that there was still time for her own transformation. If Anna could overcome so much, perhaps she too could find a path to recovery. In the days following the event, Anna received several messages of support and gratitude. Her initiative had impacted many lives, and this motivated her even more to continue her work. Meanwhile, Mariana began exploring how she could get involved in the support community. She began attending therapy groups, focusing on her own rehabilitation and accepting her responsibility. The desire to change was growing within her, and at the same time, the desire to help others find the light guided her. One night, Mariana decided to write another letter to Anna. "I watched you today. You are a force of nature. I am so proud of you, and even though I don't have the words to express how sorry I am, I want you to know that I am trying to change. I want to make a difference in other people's lives too." Mariana felt a little lighter as she wrote. As she sent the letter, she realized that the journey was still long, but she was finally on the right track. Over time, the letters between Anna and Mariana became a symbol of hope for both of them. Anna began to respond with messages of encouragement, always reinforcing that change was possible, as long as it was done with sincerity and dedication. One day, Anna received an unexpected proposal. A documentary about the lives of survivors was being produced, and they wanted to include her story. Anna was hesitant, but after discussing it with her family and friends, she decided that this was an opportunity to amplify her message of hope. "This can help many people understand the importance of talking about these issues," said Miguel, supporting the decision. Anna met with the production team and shared her story, her struggles, and her journey to recovery. The camera captured her emotions, and Anna felt empowered as she told her truth. Mariana, upon hearing about the documentary, also felt a spark of motivation. She decided that she needed to open up to the team, revealing her own story and the struggle she was facing in prison. When the documentary aired, Anna watched the episode with her family. When she saw Mariana share her side of the story, she felt mixed emotions. "She's really trying," Anna said, looking at the screen. "That's an important step." The documentary quickly became a hit, touching the hearts of many. It not only shed light on Anna's journey, but also challenged the stigma surrounding people who make mistakes and seek redemption. Anna began receiving invitations to speak at conferences, where her story inspired crowds. She realized that her pain was not just a burden, but a powerful tool for change. As Mariana continued her journey in prison, her involvement in rehabilitation programs grew. She began helping other prisoners find their way back into society, always remembering the lessons Anna had shared with her. The impact they both made was transformative, and little by little, the lives they touched began to multiply. Each in their own way, they were changing the world around them. Anna and Mariana never stopped communicating. The letters became a vital part of their lives, each serving as a reminder that healing is a process and that, even on different paths, they were both moving toward the light. 1 year after the Walk for Hope walk, Anna decided it was time to bring all the survivors together for a new edition of the event. This time, Mariana could participate in person. Anna made sure to invite her, and Mariana's response was full of expectation and emotion. "I want to be there. I want to be a part of it, in a positive way." Mariana's heart was pounding as she wrote. When the day of the event arrived, the atmosphere was electric. Anna felt fulfilled, and the idea of having Mariana by her side made her nervous but hopeful. On stage, Anna spoke about the importance of solidarity and community. And, to her surprise and joy, Mariana was in the audience, receiving applause and support from everyone. After the speech, Anna stepped down from the stage and walked to Mariana, who was waiting for her with a nervous smile. "You did it, Anna. You are a true leader," Mariana said, with tears in her eyes. Anna hugged Mariana, feeling the strength of the moment. They were there, in a space of healing and renewal, where words of pain were transformed into smiles of hope. "We did this together," Anna replied, releasing Mariana from the hug and looking deeply into her eyes. "I'm so proud of you for being here." The crowd around her began to applaud, and Anna, overcome with emotion, turned to the audience. "This is Mariana, and she is a true inspiration," Anna said, raising Mariana's hand. The audience applauded even louder, and Mariana felt a wave of support envelop her. That day, Mariana shared her own story. With a mix of nervousness and determination, she took the stage and spoke about her struggles, her regrets, and most importantly, her journey toward redemption. "I'm not perfect, but I'm learning," Mariana began, her voice firm but emotional. "I made bad choices, but I'm here today to show that it's always possible to change. I want to use my experience to help others not follow the same path I did." Mariana's words touched many hearts. Anna watched with tears of joy in her eyes as the people in the audience connected with Mariana's sincerity. When she finished, Mariana was greeted with a warm ovation. After the event, Anna and Mariana sat together to reflect on what they had experienced. "It was amazing, wasn't it?" said Anna, still breathless from the adrenaline of the stage. "Much more than I could have imagined. I never thought I could be so well received," Mariana replied, a gleam of hope in her eyes. "This just shows that change is possible and that we are all connected," Anna smiled, holding Mariana's hand. "We are in a new chapter of our lives." Meanwhile, the impact of the event brought more survivor stories to light, and the community came together to create a safe space where survivors could support each other. Anna decided it was time to create a community center focused on recovery and support for victims of abuse. Mariana, now more active in her rehabilitation, began to get involved in this project. Together, they began to plan a space that would not only offer psychological support, but also workshops and activities that would help people reconnect with their passions and develop new skills. "We can make it happen," Mariana said, full of energy as she discussed ideas with Anna. "We can offer art classes, sports, anything that would help people feel alive again. And also support groups, where people can share their stories without fear," Anna added. "It's a way to create a cycle of healing." With the support of the community, the center soon began to take shape. They organized a fundraising campaign and, to Anna and Mariana's surprise, the response was overwhelmingly positive. People from all over the city contributed their time and resources. "I never thought I would see this happen," Mariana said, tears in her eyes as she watched the center's progress. "This is more than a dream, it's a reality." The opening of the center was an exciting event. Anna and Mariana were nervous, but also overjoyed. Seeing the community come together to support the cause, They both realized they were creating something that would go beyond their own stories. On the opening day, Anna gave an emotional speech. Today, we are here to celebrate the strength of community and the ability to overcome. This center is a symbol that together, we can transform pain into power and hope into action. Mariana, by her side, looked at the audience and felt grateful. She never imagined that she would have the chance to help other people. This place is a space for all of us, a space where we can find our voice again. I am here to support each of you on your journeys, Mariana said, her voice firm. The center quickly became a haven for many. The workshops and support groups were well received, and the energy of the place was infectious. Anna and Mariana became mentors, helping others navigate their own healing paths. As time passed, Anna and Mariana realized that their healing journeys were a reflection of each other. They both learned to forgive each other, accept the past, and build a better future. The love they shared grew stronger every day, uniting them as sisters. One day, while they were organizing a new activity at the center, Anna turned to Mariana and said, "I couldn't have done this without you. Your strength inspires me every day, and you gave me the courage to change. Together, we are making a difference," Mariana replied, smiling. Meanwhile, life at the center flourished, and stories of overcoming continued to multiply. Anna and Mariana knew that, despite the challenges, they were always one step closer to a future where love and hope prevailed. On a sunny afternoon, the two decided to organize a special event, a celebration of life. They invited all community members, survivors, and their families to a day full of activities, music, and mutual support. "Let's show that we're all in this together," said Anna, excited as she planned the activities. "And also celebrate the beauty of who we are and what we can become," added Mariana, full of enthusiasm. The event was an absolute success. The laughter and smiles were contagious, and each person's stories were shared, creating bonds of solidarity. Anna and Mariana looked at each other, recognizing that they had created a legacy. That day, as they looked out over the crowd gathered, Anna and Mariana realized that their journey was not just about them. It was about everyone who had found a path to healing and support. "We did it, didn't we?" Anna said, excited, holding Mariana's hand. "Yes, and this is just the beginning. We are here to make a difference," Mariana replied, with a sparkle in her eyes. The two embraced, surrounded by the warmth of the community and the certainty that, together, they were stronger. And so, Anna and Mariana's story continued, not only as a tale of overcoming, but as a testament to the power of hope, love, and the human capacity to reinvent oneself. Each day, the light they brought to the world continued to shine, inspiring others to move forward and believe that transformation is always possible. And as they walked side by side, they knew that no matter what challenges they faced, together they could overcome any obstacle. Anna and Mariana continued to develop the center, always looking for ways to expand its activities and reach more people. The community was growing stronger, and they noticed that with each new member that arrived, the support network became even richer and more diverse. One of their most successful initiatives was the creation of a mentoring program. Anna and Mariana decided it was essential to connect new survivors with those who were already in recovery. So they created a system where people who had been through similar experiences could support each other. "This could really change lives," Mariana said, excited about the idea. "The experience of someone who has already been through this can be so valuable." With the support of volunteers, they organized training sessions for the mentors to prepare for their roles. The first meeting was emotional, with many sharing their stories and experiences, creating an environment of empathy and understanding. One of the mentors, Carlos, a former military man who had faced personal trauma, stood out. He spoke candidly about his struggles, and his vulnerability touched everyone's hearts. "I always thought I was the only one going through this, until I found a group like this. Now, I want to help others know that they are not alone," Carlos said, emotionally. The mentoring sessions quickly became a cornerstone of the center. Anna and Mariana were always there, listening to stories and creating a safe space for everyone to express themselves. As the center grew, Anna decided it was time to do something even more impactful. She began planning an annual abuse awareness and recovery festival. The idea was to create an event that not only celebrated stories of overcoming abuse, but also educated the community about the importance of speaking openly about these issues. "Imagine the impact this could have," Anna told Mariana as she sketched out the plans. "We could have lectures, workshops, artistic performances, And we can include stories of overcoming, showing how each one of us is making a difference," Mariana added, full of enthusiasm. Word of the festival spread quickly, and soon several local businesses and non-profits stepped up to help. Anna and Mariana felt motivated and hopeful as they saw the community rallying around the cause. On the day of the festival, the center was abuzz with activity. There were booths with information about support resources, art and music workshops, and even a dance performance that wowed everyone. Anna and Mariana were overwhelmed with emotion, observing the love and solidarity that filled the space. On the main stage, Anna gave an emotional speech. "This festival is a celebration of life and overcoming. We are here to show that, together, we can face challenges and transform our experiences into strength." The crowd cheered, and many shared their stories of overcoming obstacles. Mariana also had the opportunity to speak, and her words resonated deeply. "We are more than our scars. Each of us has the capacity to change, to grow, and to inspire others." She looked out at the audience, filled with hope. Never underestimate the power of your voice. The festival was a resounding success, and the positive energy in the air was palpable. Anna and Mariana were exhausted, but also radiant, knowing that they had created a space of transformation and hope. However, not everything was easy. Mariana still struggled with her own demons, and some nights were harder than others. On one particularly difficult night, she decided to write a letter to Anna. "I feel lost. Sometimes I feel like I don't deserve all of this. The struggle is real, and I don't always know how to move forward." She allowed herself to be vulnerable, acknowledging her insecurities. Upon receiving the letter, Anna immediately went to Mariana's house. When she entered, she found Mariana sitting on the floor, surrounded by papers and pencils. "Hi, friend," said Anna, sitting down next to her. "I saw your letter. Do you want to talk?" Mariana shook her head, tears streaming down her face. "I don't know if I'm strong enough. Sometimes I feel like I'm just fooling myself." Anna took Mariana's hand, looking into her eyes. "We all have bad days. The difference is that now you are not alone. I am here with you, and you are stronger than you think." Mariana was carried away by Anna's support and love, remembering all the times she faced challenges and got back up. "Thank you, Anna. You always know what to say," said Mariana, wiping away her tears. That conversation brought temporary relief, but Anna knew that Mariana's battle was far from over. She decided she needed to do more to support her friend. Together, they began creating an art therapy project at the center. "Art can be a powerful way to express our feelings and heal our wounds," Anna said, full of hope. "Let's use it as a tool for recovery." Mariana smiled, feeling that this could be an opportunity for transformation for both of them. They began organizing painting, writing, and music workshops, allowing participants to express themselves freely. As the months passed, the art therapy project became a favorite at the center. People began signing up in droves, eager to explore their creativity as a form of healing. The artwork produced became a beautiful display, and a special event was organized to showcase everyone's work. "I'm so excited to see what everyone has created," Anna told Mariana as they prepared the space for the exhibition. "This is going to be amazing. I can't wait to see the joy people feel when they see their work on display," Mariana replied, feeling a glow of enthusiasm. On the night of the screening, the center was lit up, filled with artwork and live music. The walls were decorated with paintings, and every corner emanated creativity and expression. People gathered to appreciate the art and celebrate the recovery. Mariana looked around, feeling a surge of pride at what they had created. "Look, Anna. Each of these works represents a story of overcoming," said Mariana, her eyes shining. "And you were part of it. This shows that, even in struggles, there is beauty and strength," replied Anna, hugging Mariana. The event was an absolute success. Each participant's stories were shared, and the sense of community grew even stronger. Mariana felt stronger than ever, knowing that she was helping others find their way. As they danced and celebrated, Anna turned to Mariana. "Look at all this. We did it." Mariana smiled, recognizing that she had found renewed purpose in her life. She realized that the struggle was constant, but with the support of Anna and the community, it was easier to face it. With the center flourishing and life constantly changing, Anna and Mariana were closer than ever. They had found new meaning in their lives and were determined to continue making a positive impact on the community. One night, as they walked home after a long day downtown, Anna turned to Mariana. "Have you ever stopped to think about how far we've come?" Anna asked with a smile. "Sometimes it's hard to believe. But when I look at everything we've created, I feel like we're just getting started," Mariana replied, full of hope. The two looked up at the stars, realizing that their journeys were just beginning. There was so much to do, so many lives to touch, and they were ready to face whatever came, together. As time went on, new stories of resilience began to emerge. Anna and Mariana heard about survivors who had become mentors and helped others on their journey. The impact they had made reverberated throughout the city, and the center became a symbol of strength and resilience. The festival has become an annual event, drawing people from far and wide and bringing a new wave of awareness about abuse and recovery. Anna and Mariana felt fulfilled to see the community come together around such an important cause. One day, while they were organizing preparations for the upcoming festival, Anna received an unexpected message. It was from a famous documentary filmmaker who wanted to tell the story of the center and the lives it had changed. "Mariana, you won't believe it," Anna said, holding her cell phone. "They want to make a documentary about us." Mariana was silent for a moment, processing the news. "This can be a great opportunity to showcase the work we are doing. But it is also a great responsibility." "I know, but think about how many lives we can touch with this. We can inspire others to seek help and share their stories," Anna replied enthusiastically. Mariana agreed, feeling it was a chance to raise awareness for the cause even more. They began working with the production team, sharing their stories and the impact the center had on people's lives. As the documentary developed, Anna and Mariana realized that this was a new stage in their journeys. They were ready to face the exposure, confident that their stories could help break the silence surrounding the topic of abuse and recovery. With the film crew present, the center came alive. Cameras captured the vibrant energy of the participants in the art workshops, the smiles during the mentoring sessions, and the emotions shared in the support groups. Anna and Mariana were interviewed at various points, talking about their experiences and the transformation they experienced. "It's important to show that recovery is a journey and not a destination," Anna said in one of the interviews. "We all have ups and downs, and that's part of the process." Mariana, with the confidence she had developed, added, "We are here to show that it is possible to rebuild our lives. Each of us has a unique story, and it is time to share it." As the documentary took shape, the community response was incredible. More people began to engage with the center, offering their support and resources. The number of participants in the activities grew, and the space became an even more welcoming refuge. One sunny afternoon, while organizing a fundraising event for the center, Anna and Mariana received an unexpected visitor. It was Laura, an old friend of Mariana's, who had drifted away years ago after a series of traumas. "I heard about what you were doing and I had to come," Laura said, tears in her eyes. "I wanted to find the courage to seek help, and you inspired me." Mariana hugged her, feeling a mixture of joy and nostalgia. "You've always been important to me. I'm sorry for everything you've been through. But now you're here, and that's a big step. I want to be a part of this. I want to heal myself and help other people too," Laura replied, determined. With the support of Anna and Mariana, Laura began to integrate into the center. She became a volunteer, helping to organize workshops and events, and her presence brought a new perspective to the group. Her story of overcoming difficulties began to intertwine with those of others, and she soon became a mentor, inspiring those who were going through their own struggles. Anna and Mariana felt a surge of gratitude as they watched Laura get back on her feet. They knew that their own journeys were intertwining with those of others, creating a web of support and resilience. As the documentary neared completion, the team decided to hold a preview screening at the center, inviting all participants and their families. The atmosphere was charged with anticipation, and Anna and Mariana prepared to have their stories shared in such a powerful format. On the day of the screening, the center was packed. People of different ages and backgrounds were there, united by hope and struggle. Anna and Mariana sat in the front, nervous but excited. The documentary began to roll, and life stories unfolded on the screen. Moments of pain, struggle, but also of overcoming and joy were presented in a raw and authentic way. By the end of the film, the audience was silent, absorbing everything that had been shown. When the lights came up, the room erupted in applause. Many were moved, and tears streamed down several participants' faces. Anna and Mariana were called to the stage, and the ovulation intensified. "Thank you all for being here," Anna said, overcome with emotion. "This film represents not only our stories, but all the stories we have experienced together in this center. It is a reminder that we can overcome our struggles and find light, even in the darkest moments." Mariana, feeling the support of the community, spoke next. "I never imagined that I would be here, sharing my story. But it shows that each of us can be a source of hope. We are all on this journey together, and together we are stronger." After the screening, many people reached out to share their own stories. There was a genuine connection, a mutual understanding that brought everyone together. Anna and Mariana realized that the center's impact went far beyond what they had imagined. The impact of the documentary brought a new wave of interest in the media, and Anna and Mariana were invited to appear on radio and television programs, where they could talk about their experiences and promote the center. Each interview was an opportunity to touch lives and encourage others to seek help. As visibility increased, the community responded positively, and more donations began to come in. The center began to expand its activities, including new therapy programs and support groups. One day, while they were organizing the space for more activities, Anna turned to Mariana. "Do you realize we are creating a legacy? This is much bigger than us." "Yes, and it's amazing to see so many people coming together," Mariana replied, looking around. "I never thought that one day I would be able to help other people the way I am doing now." As life at the center flourished, Anna and Mariana began exploring new possibilities. They decided it was time to launch a series of online workshops to reach even more people beyond the local community. "We can share our experiences and create a safe space on the internet," said Anna, excited about the idea. "Let's use technology to our advantage." Mariana agreed, and the two of them threw themselves into the project. The first online sessions were a success, with participants from all over the country signing up. The stories continued to intertwine, and the center became a beacon of hope. Over time, Anna and Mariana realized that the impact they were making was immense. They had created a support network that transcended their own lives, uniting people from different backgrounds and experiences. One late afternoon, as they reflected on everything they had achieved, Mariana looked at Anna. "I will never forget where we came from and all that we have overcome. We are living proof that recovery is possible. And we will always be together on this journey, no matter what happens," replied Anna, holding Mariana's hand. They both smiled, knowing that there was still much to do, but also that they were more prepared than ever to face the challenges that lay ahead. With love and support, their stories would continue to intertwine, inspiring many others to move forward and find the strength within themselves. And so, Anna and Mariana's story expanded, not just as a tale of overcoming adversity, but as a celebration of the human capacity to rise and flourish. Voices that had once been silenced now echoed, creating a wave of change that spread across the world. With the success of the center and the growing demand for support, Anna and Mariana realized they could do even more. The online workshops were attracting participants from different states, and this inspired them to consider opening branches of the center in other cities. "If we can do this, we can impact so many lives," Anna said, excited about the idea. "We can create a model that other communities can follow." Mariana agreed, imagining how this could transform lives beyond the city's borders. They began researching how to expand the center, seeking partnerships with local organizations and seeking funding. During a meeting with the volunteer team, Anna presented the idea of expansion. "We are in an exciting time. We have the opportunity to bring our support model to other communities," Anna said, looking each team member in the eye. "With everyone's help, we can make this happen." The volunteers, energized by Anna's vision, began discussing how they could help. Many volunteered to lead initiatives in their own cities, and the energy in the room was contagious. One of the volunteers, Clara, an artist who had benefited from the art workshops, raised her hand. "I would like to help open a branch in my city. I can put together a support group and see how we can implement the model you created." "That's amazing, Clara," Mariana exclaimed. "We're counting on you." With the support of the team, Anna and Mariana began to develop a plan for expansion. They organized a meeting with community leaders from several cities to present the center and its impact. The response was very positive, and they soon began to form partnerships. Meanwhile, the documentary began to gain recognition at film festivals, and Anna and Mariana were invited to discuss the importance of telling stories of overcoming and resilience. Each time they spoke, more people felt inspired to seek help and join the movement. At one of these conferences, Anna met Rafael, a director of a non-profit that worked with at-risk youth. He was interested in the work Anna and Mariana were doing and offered to support their expansion. "We have resources and a network of contacts that could help. Together, we could reach many more people," Rafael said, smiling. Anna and Mariana were optimistic about the idea. With Rafael's support, they were able to plan the first branch of the center in a nearby city where there was an urgent need for support services. During the inauguration of the branch, the team gathered to celebrate another milestone in the journey. Clara, who had led the initiative,
so grateful to
gave
be
an
a part of
emotional
this.
speech. "Each of us has a story, and now we can share our experiences to help others rise up too." Anna and Mariana, outside, watched the scene, feeling the weight of responsibility and the joy of seeing their dream come true. "Look how many lives we're touching, Mariana. This is just the beginning," Anna said, her eyes shining. The expansion continued, and each new branch brought with it stories of overcoming and transformation. Over time, the center became a national movement, with branches spreading across several cities, each adapting the support model to local needs. On an autumn evening, while in a video conference with the leaders of the new branches, Anna and Mariana reflected on everything they had experienced. "I never imagined we would get this far," Mariana said, looking at the screen full of smiling faces. "This just proves that when we come together for a greater cause, we can do incredible things," Anna replied. "The strength of community is powerful." With each new story that reached them, Anna and Mariana felt more and more motivated. The messages of gratitude from people who had found help and hope were a constant reminder of the impact they were making. Once, a young woman named Lidisha, who had participated in the art workshops at one of the branches, sent a message that touched both of their hearts. "I was in a very dark place, but I found light through art and the support I received. Thank you for creating a space where I felt welcomed. I am on a path of recovery and want to help others find the same hope that I have found." Anna and Mariana shared the message with the entire team, and tears of emotion streamed down everyone's faces. "That's why we do this," Anna exclaimed. "Every success story motivates us to continue." As demand increased, they began to consider creating a training program to develop new mentors and volunteers, ensuring that the center's mission continued to be lived out in each new branch. "We need to ensure that our legacy of support and love continues to grow," Mariana said thoughtfully. "If we train new leaders, we will be preparing for the future." Anna agreed, and together they began to develop a curriculum that would include not only emotional support training, but also building leadership and communication skills. As the training program was being developed, the idea of creating an annual conference began to gain traction. The conference would be an opportunity to bring all the branches together, share experiences, and strengthen the support network. "This could be an amazing event," Anna said excitedly. "We could bring in experts, hold workshops, and create a space for everyone to feel inspired and connected." Mariana smiled, realizing that the conference could be a catalyst for new partnerships and opportunities. "And we can invite survivors to tell their stories. Each one of them has a transformative power that can inspire even more people." With everyone's support, the first conference was scheduled and quickly became a highly anticipated event in the community. Leaders from different branches came together, exchanging ideas and strengthening ties. The mood was one of celebration and solidarity, with everyone eager to learn and share. On the night of the conference, Anna and Mariana prepared to open the event. The auditorium was packed, and the energy in the air was palpable. "We are here today to celebrate every story, every life that has been touched by our work together," Anna began, looking at the audience. "Together, we are creating a movement that goes far beyond us." Mariana followed, her heart pounding. "Remember that each of you is part of this change. Together, we are stronger, and together we can transform lives." After the speech, the conference began. Inspiring stories were shared, and the workshops were a success, prompting each participant to reflect on their own journeys. Connections between branches grew stronger, and new partnerships began to form. As they walked through the space after the event, Anna and Mariana were beaming. "That was amazing. Look how many people are coming together for such an important cause," Anna said, with a sparkle in her eyes. "Yes, and this is just the beginning. I am so grateful for everything we have built together," Mariana replied, feeling the vibrant energy around her. Over time, the center and its branches became a reference for support and recovery, impacting lives across the country. Anna and Mariana continued to fight for a future where every voice could be heard, every story told. Yet even with all their success, they both knew there were still challenges ahead. Stories of pain and struggle continued to emerge, and each represented a new opportunity to make a difference. Anna, always the dreamer, began to idealize a new project. What if we created an online platform where people could share their stories anonymously? A space where they could connect with others who are going through similar situations? Mariana loved the idea, imagining how this platform could help so many people who still felt alone. This could be an amazing resource. We could include discussion forums, virtual support groups, and even online workshops. With enthusiasm, Anna and Mariana threw themselves into the project. They began working with technology and mental health experts to create a safe and welcoming space. When the platform finally launched, the impact was immediate. People from all walks of life started signing up, sharing their stories, and finding support. "Look how many lives we're touching, Mariana," said Anna, observing the growing number of members on the platform. "This is simply incredible. We are creating a global community of support." Mariana responded, emotionally. With each new member who joined the platform, Anna and Mariana felt like they were fulfilling their purpose. They were taking the center's mission to a whole new level, helping more people find hope and resilience. Amidst all this progress, Anna and Mariana did not forget to take care of each other. They continued to meet regularly, sharing experiences and reflecting on their journey. One evening, as they drank tea and talked about recent challenges and successes, Anna looked at Mariana. "I can't believe how our lives have changed since that day we decided to do something for ourselves. Are you ready for what's next?" Mariana smiled, feeling the strength of the connection they had built. "I'm more than ready. Together, we are unstoppable, and I can't wait to see where this journey takes us." With hearts full of hope, the two friends embraced each other, aware that the story of overcoming and love they had created was still evolving, and that each day was a new opportunity to transform lives and build a brighter future for everyone. As Anna and Mariana continued to expand their impact, the center became a focal point in the community. The success of the online platform also spurred other initiatives that promoted mental health and resilience. New branches were popping up quickly, and the team was more united than ever. One day, during a meeting with the branch leaders, a brilliant idea emerged. Clara, now one of the main mentors, proposed holding an annual recovery festival. "We can celebrate our achievements, share stories, and create a space where everyone feels welcome," Clara said excitedly. "Imagine a fair with art booths, music, the idea generated a buzz of enthusiasm." Anna and Mariana were excited about the possibility of bringing so many people together in one place. "This could be an incredible opportunity to showcase the impact of our work," commented Mariana. "We could invite former participants to talk about their journeys." After intensive planning, the festival was scheduled for spring. The team worked tirelessly to ensure the event was a success. Each branch contributed their ideas and talents, creating a truly collaborative festival. When the day of the festival arrived, the park was full of life. People of all ages gathered, excited to take part in the activities. The mood was one of celebration and togetherness. Anna and Mariana were beaming as they watched the action unfold around them. A stage was set up for presentations, and workshops began to attract groups of people interested in learning and connecting. Clara, moved, gave the opening speech. "Today we celebrate not only our stories, but also the strength we find in each other. Each of us is an important part of this community." The audience applauded, and soon the program began with musical performances by local artists, including Mariana, who decided to go on stage to share a song she had written about her journey. After his presentation, a young woman named Sophia approached. "Your music was amazing. I've been through some tough times too, and I'm trying to find my way," Sophia said, with tears in her eyes. Mariana smiled, hugging her. "That's what we're here for. You're not alone." As the festival progressed, stories began to be shared. Past participants took to the stage, sharing their struggles and triumphs, inspiring everyone around them. The event became a safe space where people could open their hearts and feel supported. During the festival, Anna came across a booth where a local artist was selling her work. The artist, named Lucia, had an amazing story of overcoming obstacles and had become an advocate for mental health through art. "You should join our center," Anna suggested. Your art can inspire so many others." Lucia smiled, feeling moved by the proposal. "I would love to. Art was my escape, and I want to help others find that same release." As the festival progressed, connections were forming in magical ways. Mariana organized an art workshop, where Lucia led an activity, helping people express their emotions through painting. "Remember, there is no right or wrong in art. What matters is how you feel while you create," said Lucia, encouraging participants to release their emotions. While the activities were taking place, Anna and Mariana walked around the park, talking to the participants and listening to their stories. Each encounter reinforced the idea that they were on the right path. A family approached them, thanking them for the impact the center had on their lives. My son, Miguel, participated in the workshops and began to open up about his feelings. He was struggling with anxiety, and now he is more confident and happy, said his mother, emotionally. Anna and Mariana exchanged glances, feeling the warmth of each other's stories of transformation. Each story was a confirmation that the work they were doing was truly meaningful. The festival continued, with people sharing laughter, tears, and deep connections. During the afternoon, there was a special moment when everyone gathered in a circle and each had the opportunity to share a word or phrase that represented their journey. When it was Anna's turn, she stood up, looking at everyone with gratitude. "For me, the word that represents this journey is hope. Each of us carries unique stories, and together we can create a brighter future." Mariana added, in a strong voice, "I believe that our strength lies in coming together. Each one of us is important, and together we are capable of facing any challenge." People began to applaud, and the excitement in the air was palpable. By the end of the day, everyone was tired, but full of energy and inspiration. That night, as they helped dismantle the event, Anna and Mariana reflected on what they had created. "The festival was a success beyond what I expected," said Anna with a wide smile. "Yes, and this just reaffirms that our mission is important. We are making a difference," Mariana replied. With their connection and community spirit stronger than ever, they realized that even when faced with the challenges that lay ahead, they were prepared to face them together. The journey was far from over, but the vision of a more hopeful and loving future guided every step they took. As the festival became an annual tradition, Anna and Mariana dedicated themselves to continually improving the center and its activities. The legacy of support and resilience they were building continued to grow, touching lives and hearts. With each new day, Anna and Mariana felt more motivated to fight for a world where mental health was a priority, and where stories of overcoming continued to be told. They knew the journey would be challenging, but with love, support, and determination, they were ready to face whatever came their way. With renewed energy after the festival, Anna and Mariana decided to implement a series of new initiatives for the center. They wanted to not only maintain the momentum, but also further expand the resources and support available. One idea was to create a mentoring program where former members could help new members navigate their journeys. They believed that sharing experiences could be deeply enriching. "Let's bring together all the former participants and encourage them to become mentors," Mariana suggested during a team meeting. "We can offer training to ensure they feel confident in their new roles." The team was excited about the idea, and soon Anna and Mariana began organizing the first mentoring sessions. The program was designed to provide emotional support as well as practical strategies for dealing with everyday challenges. During the first few weeks, the mentorship program had an immediate impact. Mentors and new participants connected, creating bonds that proved to be crucial in everyone's recovery journey. One day, while walking through the center, Anna met one of the new participants, Lucas. "I'm so grateful to have found someone like you to help me," Lucas said, smiling. "You make me feel like I'm not alone." Raphael smiled back, remembering his own journey. "I've been there too, and that's why I'm here. Together, we'll find the best path for you." Anna walked away, feeling emotional as she saw the impact the program was having. Each new connection between mentors and participants seemed to create a virtuous circle of support. Over the months, the center also began receiving more requests for partnerships. Local organizations and businesses wanted to get involved, offering resources and support. Anna and Mariana organized a meeting with potential partners to discuss how they could collaborate. During the meeting, a representative of a technology company, Juliana, presented a proposal to create an application that could facilitate connections between the center's participants. "We can develop a platform that offers self-help resources, discussion forums, and even a section for people to share their success stories, suggested Juliana, excited about the idea. Anna and Mariana were intrigued. This could be an amazing way to expand our reach, Anna said. That way we could help people who can't come to the center. The partnership was formalized, and development of the app began. With the help of Juliana and her team, the project moved forward quickly. The app was designed to be user-friendly and accessible, while providing a safe space for the community. While the app was being tested, Anna and Mariana organized a series of meetings to present the idea to the center's participants. They wanted to ensure that everyone had a chance to contribute and feel part of the process. "We're creating something that belongs to all of you," Mariana said during one of the meetings. "We want to know what you'd like to see in the app." The suggestions started flowing in, and the team was impressed by the creativity and depth of the ideas that emerged. People suggested resources like guided meditations, self-care tips, and even a section for online support groups. The excitement was palpable, and the app launch quickly became a major event. Anna and Mariana dedicated themselves to preparing an engaging presentation, highlighting the app's features and how it could benefit the community. When the launch day arrived, the center was in a state of celebration. People gathered to celebrate the newest support tool they could use. Anna and Mariana took the stage, beaming with joy. "Today is an incredible milestone for all of us," Anna began. "The app is an extension of our work and a reflection of the voices of each of you." Mariana continued, sharing how the idea was born out of the need to connect even more people. "Each of you played a vital role in creating this app. We're excited to see how it will impact even more lives." After the presentation, people started downloading the app, and the energy was contagious. Everyone was excited to explore the new features and connect with each other in new ways. Over the next few days, the team received a steady stream of feedback. Many participants expressed their gratitude for having a digital space where they could feel supported and share their experiences. Among the new interactions on the app, Anna and Mariana noticed a growing trend of people volunteering to lead group discussions on specific topics, such as anxiety, depression, and recovery. This further strengthened the community and fostered a sense of belonging. One of the emerging leaders was Sophia, who had become a mentor and decided to lead a group on creativity as a recovery tool. "Art saved me, and I want to share that with others," Sophia said in one of her online meetings. "Let's use creativity as a form of expression and healing." Anna and Mariana were proud to see how participants were actively engaging and helping each other on their journeys. The online platform became a vibrant and dynamic space, where stories of overcoming challenges were told every day. As the community grew, Anna and Mariana realized it was time to consider new ways to fund their efforts. They began organizing fundraising events, such as charity dinners and art auctions, where participants could donate their creations. One of the first charity dinners was planned for the end of the year, and the team came together to make sure everything was perfect. Every detail was carefully thought out, from the menu to the musical performances. On the day of the event, the center was stunningly decorated, and the tables were ready to welcome the guests. Anna and Mariana were nervous, but their excitement was palpable. "This could be a great opportunity to raise funds and showcase what we do," Anna said as she checked the guest list. Mariana smiled, feeling the same energy. "We are doing this together, and no matter what happens, it is an important step for our center." As guests began to arrive, the atmosphere was filled with excitement. People were excited to support the cause and learn more about the center. During dinner, Anna and Mariana gave a moving speech, sharing their stories and the impact the center has had on so many people's lives. "We thank each and every one of you for being here tonight. What we do would not be possible without the support of the community," said Mariana, looking into the eyes of the guests. Anna added, "We are creating a space where everyone feels safe and supported. Every donation will help strengthen our initiatives and reach more lives." The event was a success beyond expectations. Not only did they raise significant funds, but they also raised awareness about mental health in the community. Guests were eager to get more involved, and new volunteers emerged. After dinner, Anna and Mariana sat at a table, exhausted but full of joy. "What we achieved today was incredible," Anna said, smiling. "I'm so happy to see so many people coming together for such an important cause." "Me too. Every step we take takes us further," Mariana replied, feeling grateful for the journey they shared. Over the next few months, the center continued to thrive. New programs were implemented, and the community grew stronger as more people joined in. Anna and Mariana didn't stop there. They were always thinking of new ways to expand the center's impact. One morning, while they were having coffee, Anna had an inspiring idea. What if we created an exchange program where mentors and participants from different branches could meet each other? Imagine the stories and learnings that could emerge. Mariana loved the idea and began planning the program. They wanted people to connect beyond the borders of their cities, creating an even stronger network of support and friendship. With each new initiative, Anna and Mariana were shaping a future where mental health was a priority and where each story of overcoming contributed to a more united community. One night, as they walked home after a long day downtown, Mariana stopped and looked at Anna. Have you ever stopped to think about how it all started? Just two people wanting to make a difference, and now here we are, changing lives. Anna smiled, remembering the beginning we could come this far. It's proof that when we follow our hearts, incredible things can happen. With renewed determination and the strength of the community at their side, Anna and Mariana were ready to face whatever challenge the future held. The story of overcoming they were writing was far from over, and they knew that each day brought a new opportunity to inspire and transform lives. As the year progressed, the center continued to thrive, and new ideas emerged every day. The exchange program that Anna and Mariana had planned finally took shape. They decided to organize a weekend retreat so that mentors and participants from different branches could meet in a relaxing environment, away from the daily grind. This could be an amazing opportunity for everyone to get to know each other and support each other in new ways, Mariana said, excited to share the idea with the team. Anna agreed enthusiastically. We can include group activities, workshops, and even moments of reflection. This way, everyone can share their experiences and learn from each other. Planning for the retreat involved months of preparation. The team chose a peaceful location surrounded by nature, mountains, and lakes, ideal for moments of introspection and connection. The event was announced on social media and quickly sold out, with participants from different branches excited for the experience. On the day of the retreat, the atmosphere was one of anticipation. When the participants arrived, Anna and Mariana welcomed them warmly, with smiles and hugs. "Welcome to our retreat," Anna exclaimed. "We are so happy that you are here to share this special moment." The participants were a mix of personalities and stories, but they were all united by a common goal: to find support and grow together. Among them were Lucas, now a confident mentor, Sophia, who had become a standout artist, and Raphael, a former participant who had overcome great challenges. The retreat began with a group dynamic, where everyone introduced themselves and shared what they hoped to learn and take back home. "I'm here to better understand how to help others," Lucas said, looking at the group. "I feel like I have a lot to offer, but I also want to learn from all of you." Sophia, excited, added, "I want to explore how art can be a form of healing. I hope we can inspire each other." The day's activities included sunrise meditations, creativity workshops, nature walks, and conversation circles where everyone could express their feelings and experiences. Anna and Mariana watched with emotion as participants connected in deep and meaningful ways. On one of the walks, Raphael and Sophia found themselves in a moment of introspection. "Sometimes I feel like the fight never ends, but moments like this remind me of how far I've come," said Raphael, looking at the landscape. Sophia nodded, reflecting on her own journey. "Me too. Art helps me process all of this, and I want other people to know that they can use creativity as a form of expression." As the retreat progressed, Anna and Mariana began to notice a change in the group dynamic. People were opening up more, sharing vulnerabilities, and creating bonds that seemed unbreakable. During an evening conversation circle, Anna decided to share her own story. "I too have faced challenges that seemed insurmountable, but with support and love, I have discovered that it is possible to find light even in the darkest situations. I hope everyone here feels that they have that same strength within themselves," she said, emotionally. Mariana, feeling the connection, took Anna's hand, looking at the group. "And together, we are stronger. Each of you brings something unique to this community. That's what makes us special." Attendees were visibly moved, and many expressed gratitude for being able to share their stories and for being heard. The atmosphere was filled with empathy and acceptance, and everyone felt like they were in a safe space. The next morning, after a night of deep reflection, the team organized a collaborative art activity. Each participant had the chance to express their journey through painting, creating a collective mural that represented their experiences. Sophia led the activity, guiding everyone through a creative process. Remember, there is no right or wrong here. It's about how you feel and what you want to express, she said, encouraging creative freedom. With brushes and paint in hand, participants began to create, laughing, sharing stories, and connecting on a deeper level. The mural began to come to life, with vibrant colors and designs that represented emotions, struggles, and hopes. During the process, Raphael got closer to Lucas. "I'm impressed with what you've done so far. You're doing very well as a mentor," Raphael praised sincerely. "Thank you. But I actually learned so much from you. Your stories are inspiring," Lucas replied, feeling excited. As the mural took shape, Anna and Mariana stepped back for a moment to observe the scene. "Look how they're connecting," Anna commented, with tears of happiness in her eyes. "This is everything we dreamed of." "Yes. And it's just the beginning. We need to do more events like this," Mariana replied, feeling inspired. With the mural completed, Anna and Mariana decided that the center should display it as a symbol of unity and resilience. When the retreat came to a close, participants were thrilled, taking away not only new friendships but also a renewed sense of hope and empowerment. On the way back, as the participants dispersed, Sophia approached Anna and Mariana. "I would like to continue this work. Can we have art workshops at the center regularly?" she asked, a sparkle in her eyes. Anna smiled, admiring Sophia's passion. "Of course. This can be a powerful form of expression." Over the next few months, the art workshops became a success, attracting both former participants and new members. The center flourished, and with it, its positive impact on the community grew. Meanwhile, partnerships with local businesses were also expanding. The team received a proposal from a publisher who wanted to publish a book featuring the participants' stories of overcoming challenges, a way to give everyone a voice and share their experiences with a wider audience. Anna and Mariana were excited about the idea. "This could inspire so many people," Anna said, imagining the impact the book could have. Mariana agreed, already thinking about the stories that could be included. "We will make a call for submissions. This way, everyone can contribute with their narratives." The team mobilized, and quickly the stories began to arrive. Each one was unique and reflected the struggles, victories, and learnings of each participant. Anna and Mariana spent nights reviewing the texts, feeling honored to be able to give voice to these stories. When the book was finally released, the center organized a special event to celebrate. The venue was packed with participants, friends, and family, all excited to see the results of their collective work. During the event, Anna and Mariana took to the stage, beaming. "Today we celebrate not just a book, but the strength of our community," Anna began. "Each story here is a testament to the power of resilience." Mariana continued, holding a copy of the book. "We hope that by sharing these experiences, we can inspire others to find their own strength and voice." The audience applauded, and many stood up to share their stories on the microphone, touching everyone with their words. The event turned into a celebration of love, support, and resilience. As voices rose in the room, Anna and Mariana looked at each other, knowing that each step they took together was taking them further in their mission to transform lives and build a brighter future. The journey was far from over, and what awaited them most was a new adventure, filled with challenges, growth, and most of all, deep connections that would change lives forever. After the book was released, the center experienced significant growth in membership. The community was growing, attracting people from different backgrounds seeking support and connection. Anna and Mariana were excited, but also aware of the responsibility that this entailed. "We need to ensure that the quality of our work does not diminish as we grow," Anna said during a meeting with the team. Mariana agreed, feeling the pressure to keep the environment welcoming and safe. "We can divide the responsibilities. Let's appoint some team members to lead specific groups, so we can keep the focus on the community," he suggested. The ideas flowed and, with everyone's help, the team began to organize itself into subgroups, each focused on different aspects of the center, from workshops and events to communication and partnerships. In this new arrangement, an unexpected opportunity arose. One of the new participants, Beatrice, was a media producer who offered to help create content about the center's work. She wanted to make a series of videos documenting the stories of the participants. "This could be an amazing way to reach even more people and show the impact we have," said Beatrice, excited. Anna and Mariana were intrigued. "We'd love to do that. The visibility could really help spread our message, Anna replied. The videos were recorded over the course of weeks, with Beatrice capturing genuine moments of vulnerability and strength. Each participant had the opportunity to share their journey, and the stories were moving and inspiring. One day, while they were recording, Anna had an idea. What if we held a screening of the videos downtown? This could be a way to celebrate the stories and provide a safe space for discussion. Mariana loved the idea. Yes, we can organize an event to showcase the videos and then open it up for discussion. This can help demystify mental health and encourage conversation. When the day of the screening arrived, the room was filled with friends, family, and new participants, all eager to watch the stories that had been captured. Anna and Mariana introduced the event, explaining the importance of each story and how each one contributed to the center's mission. As the videos played, emotions ran high. Many participants were in tears, remembering their own struggles and achievements. When the last video ended, the silence turned to warm applause. Anna, holding the microphone, said, "Now is our chance to share and talk about what we just saw. Everyone is welcome to speak, and we want to hear your thoughts and feelings." People began to stand up, sharing their experiences and reflections. A young woman named Isabella, who had struggled with depression, raised her hand. "Seeing these stories made me realize that I'm not alone. Sometimes I feel like I'm the only one going through this, but today I saw that there are many of us," she said, emotionally. Raphael, who had already become an active supporter of the center, added, "Each of us brings a unique perspective. Our stories are powerful, and by sharing them, we can help dismantle the stigma around mental health." The conversation flowed naturally, with people connecting and supporting each other. Anna and Mariana were thrilled to see the impact the event was having, bringing the community together in such a meaningful way. In the days that followed, the center began to receive a wave of new participants, many of whom had watched the videos online or heard about the screening through friends and family. Social media engagement grew, and more people began to identify with the stories being told. In this climate of excitement, Anna and Mariana decided it was time to expand the programs they offered even further. They began planning a mental health conference, where experts could share their research and experiences, while attendees could engage in workshops and discussions. "This could be a great opportunity to educate and inspire our community," Anna said during one of the planning meetings. "And we can invite some of the participants to share their stories as speakers. That would make the conference even more impactful," suggested Mariana. With meticulous planning, the conference was organized, and soon the center was buzzing with the arrival of renowned experts in the field. Registrations sold out quickly, and the staff were both excited and nervous. On the day of the event, the space was vibrant. There were information stands, areas for interaction, and an atmosphere of excitement in the air. Anna and Mariana were beaming, watching everything unfold. "We did it!" Anna exclaimed, looking around. "This is beyond what we imagined." Mariana smiled, feeling accomplished. "And the best is yet to come. The speakers are ready to share their experiences." When the conference began, Anna and Mariana welcomed the audience, introducing the speakers and highlighting the importance of the event. The talks were insightful and moving, covering everything from coping strategies to research on the impact of mental health on society. Participants were engaged, asking questions and sharing their own experiences. After the lectures, the workshop sessions began. Participants could choose from a variety of options, from meditation techniques to creative writing exercises. Each workshop was led by mentors and experts, and the exchange of experiences was palpable. During one of the writing sessions, Lucas was nervous but determined to share his story. He began talking about the challenges he had faced and how he had found strength in his vulnerability. "I always thought I needed to be strong and hide my weaknesses, but I learned that sharing my pain is what really makes me stronger," Lucas said, his voice breaking. The group sat in silence, listening intently. When Lucas finished, the room erupted in applause and support. The connection between the participants was evident, and everyone was coming together around a common goal, supporting each other. After a long day of learning and connecting, the conference came to an end. Anna and Mariana were exhausted, but incredibly satisfied. "What we did today is just the beginning," Anna said as they sat at a table, surrounded by the team. Mariana agreed. "We have a strong and close-knit community. The next step is to ensure we continue to grow and support everyone in meaningful ways." With the success of the conference, the center not only established itself as a place of support, but also as a reference in the fight for mental health in the community. The team was more united than ever, and everyone felt like they were part of something bigger. As they walked home at the end of the day, Anna and Mariana reflected on their journey thus far. Each challenge, each shared story, had shaped not only the center, but also their own lives. "Think of everything we managed to do in such a short time," said Anna, looking at the stars. Mariana smiled, full of hope. "And we still have a lot to do. Let's continue to transform lives and fight for a world where everyone feels safe and supported." And so, with renewed determination, Anna and Mariana were ready to face whatever the future held, with hearts full of hope and the certainty that together they could create a lasting impact on the lives of many. The journey of overcoming was just beginning, and they knew that each participant's story would, from that moment on, be a vital part of a collective narrative that would continue to unfold, always in search of light and connection. With the conference over, the center became a focal point for the fight for mental health, attracting the attention of local media. Stories of transformation and empowerment began to echo throughout the community, and Anna and Mariana realized they needed to prepare for the growing demand for programs and activities. "We need to expand our offerings, perhaps create more frequent support groups and other social activities," Anna suggested during a meeting with the team. Mariana agreed thoughtfully. "And we can't forget to include topics that are still taboo, such as anxiety and the stigma surrounding mental illness. We need to educate and raise awareness." They decided to hold a series of monthly workshops focused on a variety of mental health topics, with the help of experts and community members. The team mobilized to organize the first workshop on anxiety, a topic that affected many of the participants. On the eve of the event, the team was excited but also apprehensive. "Will we be able to attract the public?" asked Beatrice, looking at the inscriptions. "Don't worry. Many people are seeking support and education on the subject," Mariana replied, trying to reassure everyone. The day of the workshop arrived, and the room was full. Anna and Mariana welcomed the participants, explaining the format of the activity and introducing the speaker, a renowned psychologist who would talk about strategies for dealing with anxiety. "We are here to learn together and support each other," Anna said. "Mental health is an important part of our lives, and together we can build a safe space to discuss it." The psychologist began his presentation by addressing the myths and truths about anxiety, as well as practical techniques that participants could use in their daily lives. The interaction was constant, and many raised their hands to share their experiences. A young woman named Clara, who had struggled with anxiety for years, stood out. "I always thought I was alone, but hearing all of you talking makes me realize that I'm not. It's good to know that we can support each other," she said, with tears in her eyes. Clara's words resonated with many. The workshop was a success, and by the end, Anna and Mariana realized they had created a space where people felt comfortable opening up. After the event, one of the participants, Tiago, approached Anna and Mariana. "I would like to volunteer and help organize these workshops. I felt that this space changed my life," he said, sincerely.
Ana similet, agitet.
"Of course. Your experience and passion will be valuable to us." Tiago joined the team, bringing new ideas and energy. He began helping to organize workshops and also helped create a weekly support group where people could meet and share their struggles and successes. Meanwhile, Beatrice began producing short videos about the workshops and the participants' experiences. The videos went viral on social media, reaching an even larger audience and attracting new members. "We need to build on this momentum," Anna said in a meeting as they watched the engagement on social media. "What else can we do to reach more people?" Mariana had an idea. "How about an awareness campaign? We could create a series of events in public places, with information booths and interactive activities. This could help demystify mental health and attract people who are not yet familiar with our work." The team liked the idea and began planning the campaign, called Open Minds. The goal was to create spaces for conversation about mental health in parks, squares, and other public places. Over the next few months, the campaign came to life. Teams took turns hosting community events, offering relaxation activities, art workshops, and informative talks. Anna and Mariana were at the center of it all, bringing their message of empowerment and support to the community. During one such event at a local park, as Anna spoke about the importance of seeking help, a woman named Fernanda approached her. "I saw the videos and decided to come. I'm going through a difficult time and I didn't know where to look for help," he said, with a vulnerable look. Anna smiled warmly. That's what we're here for. We can talk and see how we can help you feel more supported. Fernanda eventually joined the support group and soon began actively participating in the center's activities. Her presence inspired others to open up and seek help. As time went by, Anna and Mariana realized that the community was becoming a true refuge for many. Stories of overcoming difficulties multiplied, and each new participant brought with them a new perspective and a new chance for transformation. At a closing event for the Open Minds campaign, the team organized a community dinner where everyone could share their stories and experiences. The atmosphere was filled with laughter, hugs, and words of encouragement. "This is our safe space, where everyone is welcome," said Mariana as she opened the event. "Today we celebrate our victories, no matter how small they may be." Throughout the night, many stood up to speak, and the emotion was palpable. Fernanda, now more confident, shared her journey. "I never thought I would find a place where I could open up without fear of judgment. Here, I found friends and incredible support," she said, smiling. Fernanda's words touched everyone's hearts. At the end of the night, Anna and Mariana looked at each other, knowing they had created something truly special. "What do you think comes next?" Anna asked, as they watched the joy on people's faces. "I think we can keep expanding. There are so many stories left to tell and so many people who need support," Mariana replied. The team then decided to start a mentoring project, where more experienced participants could guide new members on their journeys. The idea was to create an even stronger support network. As the months passed, the center became a true beacon of hope and transformation. Anna and Mariana realized that the mission they had started together was spreading like a chain of support, connecting lives and promoting mental health in a broad and accessible way. On a sunny afternoon, as they walked together through the park after an event, Anna said, "I never imagined we would be here, watching all this happen. It's a dream come true, and there is still much more to come. Together, we can make a real difference in the lives of so many people," Mariana replied, feeling determined. And so, with hearts full of gratitude and hope, Anna and Mariana continued their journey, knowing that each step, each story, and each connection were essential parts of a legacy that would surely change the world. As the center flourished and new stories of overcoming began to emerge, Anna and Mariana realized that the community was stronger than ever. But in the midst of all this growth, an unexpected turn of events was about to happen. One night, after a successful event, Anna received an anonymous phone call. The voice on the other end of the line was deep and enigmatic. "You need to stop this. What you are doing could have consequences you cannot imagine." Disconcerted, Anna hung up and told Mariana, "Someone is trying to intimidate us. I don't know who or why, but we can't let that stop us." Mariana agreed, determined. "It just means we're doing something right. They're afraid of the impact we're creating." Determined to keep going, the team prepared for the next big event, a conference that would feature renowned mental health experts and attendees sharing their stories. Anna and Mariana were more excited than ever, believing this would be a crucial step in dismantling stigmas and expanding the community even further. On the day of the conference, everything seemed perfect. The venue was packed with people eager to learn and connect. However, when Anna took the stage to welcome the audience, she noticed something strange. There were familiar faces, but also some suspicious expressions in the audience. During the presentation, the same voice that had called Anna the day before interrupted the conference with a shout. "You don't know what you're doing. You're playing with fire." The room fell silent. Anna, surprised and scared, looked at Mariana, who was already standing, ready to defend the space. "This is unacceptable. We are creating a safe and positive environment here," Mariana said, facing the person at the back of the room. The tension in the air was palpable. The intruder, a former participant who had failed to integrate into the group and felt marginalized, began making accusations. "You only care about those who are already here. What about us, who need help?" Anna and Mariana, realizing the pain the person was carrying, decided not to react with anger, but with empathy. "We're here to support everyone. If you feel left out, let's talk and find a way to include more voices," Anna said, sincerely. The audience was divided, but some began to support Anna and Mariana, raising their hands in agreement. "We need space for everyone, no matter where they come from," shouted Tiago, standing up among the participants. The atmosphere began to heat up. Others joined in, defending the center's mission and the importance of inclusion. The tension was transformed into an open dialogue, where everyone could share their frustrations and hopes. The intruder, seeing the change in dynamics, began to hesitate. Voices of support began to echo, showing that the community was united, even in the face of conflict. Anna, sensing an opportunity to reconnect, approached him. "What do you need? We want to hear your story, and maybe together we can find a solution." The former participant, now emotional, looked at the audience, where many were willing to listen. "I just wanted to be heard. I felt like I never belonged. I was scared and alone." With sincerity in her eyes, Anna took a step forward. "So come and be a part of us. Let's work together to make sure everyone has space and support." The room erupted in applause, and the energy instantly shifted. The former contestant approached the stage, overcome with emotion, and the crew welcomed his presence. What began as a hostile interruption turned into a moment of unity and understanding. The conference continued with a renewed focus on inclusion, and all attendees felt that the community was growing stronger. When the conference ended, Anna and Mariana felt a new sense of purpose. "We did it!" Mariana exclaimed, breathless. "And this is just the beginning. Every voice matters, and we need to make sure we never leave anyone out," Anna replied, full of determination. In the days that followed, the center launched a new initiative, listening groups, where anyone could sit down and share their story. The response was overwhelming, with new participants arriving and joining a movement that continued to grow. Anna and Mariana were more convinced than ever that true strength lies in unity and empathy. And so, with a new focus on inclusion, they prepared for the next phase of their journey, a journey that would not only change lives, but also challenge society to rethink its view of mental health. As they walked together through the park after a busy day, Anna looked up at the sky. "It feels like we're just scratching the surface of what we can do." Mariana smiled, her eyes shining. "And what an exciting journey lies ahead. We are ready to face any challenge, together." And with renewed determination, they pressed on, knowing that the impact of their mission would be felt for years to come, transforming lives and building a community where everyone could feel safe and supported. The future was bright, and their story was just beginning to be told. Hey guys! If you liked this moving story about overcoming obstacles, empathy, and building a united community, don't forget to share it with a friend who also needs to hear it. Leave a comment below telling us what you thought and what your impressions are. Oh, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Let's spread this message together and make a difference. See you next time.